Chapter 4406. Boom. Jingyun directly knelt down. Speak. Jingyun gritted his teeth so hard that they shattered. He fainted from anger. This was 10,000 times worse than killing him. Fainted. Lin Xian sneered. The other party was so arrogant before, and now he wanted to escape. He used the cold law of death to envelop the other party. Instantly, the other party woke up and was terrified. I don't have much patience. You only have one chance. Lin Xian said coldly. Jingyun was in despair. He wished that the other party could kill him, but the other party didn't. The other party was tormenting him. I apologize. I shouldn't have attacked you. Please spare my life. Get lost. Don't let me see you again. Lin Xian waved his hand and said coldly. Jingyun retreated. He gritted his teeth and said, let's go. With that, he left with his people. On the other side, Han Chang's eyes flickered. He also left with his people. Everyone knew that this matter wouldn't end like this. After all, these people came from the buried Emperor Star. After losing face here, they would definitely fight back. Lin Xian didn't care because he would soon head to the buried Emperor Star. When he arrived there, he would definitely stir up a storm. At that time, these people would only become his stepping stones. Then, he looked ahead and sneered. Alright, no one cared about what happened here anymore. 10,000 Swords Pavilion, we can continue. The 10,000 Swords Pavilion's people were pale. They felt despair. Sacred King Divine Ghost's face was also ferocious. This scene was completely out of their expectations. Could it be that another battle was going to break out? However, Saint King Yanling frowned, because the other side had as many Saint Kings as they did. Once they started fighting, they would lose. Although they were strong, the deity Dao Union's people might be here. At that time, no one would know what the result would be. Sacred King Divine Ghost gritted his teeth. Are you really not going to give us any face? Sacred King Peerless snorted coldly. When you attacked Peerless City, did you think of giving us some face? Since you didn't, then prepare to suffer the consequences. Sacred King Soaring Sky from Myriad Demon City gritted his teeth and said. Sacred King Peerless, are you sure you want to do this? Peerless Saint King looked at him. Thousand Demon City, I still remember you. You've always been at odds with my Peerless City. Don't make me attack you. Hearing this, the Soaring Sky Saint King's pupils constricted. He gritted his teeth with a ferocious expression. However, he didn't dare to say anything. They all looked at Spirit Saint King Yan. Sage King Yanling's eyes flickered. He had been scouting the surroundings. He wanted to know if the deity Dao Union's people had come. But he never noticed. However, he did not dare to be careless. The deity Dao Union was mysterious and unfathomable. Who knew when it would appear? Alright, let's begin. It's a fair fight. My junior brother won't make a move, but my disciples will. You can send as many people as you want. Let's begin. Following that, Linghu Chueshue and the others began to attack. It wasn't just the young geniuses anymore. Even the elders were attacking. Seeing the elders attack, Lin Xian said, since you're using the elders, it's not too much for me to attack, right? After saying that, he also attacked aggressively. The moment the Taiji diagram appeared, the two figures instantly turned into a bloody mist. Then, his man-ruler seal and mountain-embracing seal swept out in all directions. These elders could not withstand it at all. Not long after, another 3 people fell. Divine Ghost Saint King's heart was bleeding. He wanted to attack, but he was being watched by Peerless Saint King. This time, he did not bring many people with him, but every one of them was a top genius and expert. However, these people were all dying at this moment. If all of them died, then the loss would be too great. Finally, he could not hold it in any longer. A cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. At the same time, the void split open. A terrifying killing intent swept out, directly enveloping Lin Xian. This attack was really too terrifying. Heaven and earth changed. Everyone's expression changed. They could not react at all. Even Lin Xian's pupils shrank. At the critical moment, he activated the Great Sage Pagoda and was sent flying. The Great Sage Pagoda kept shaking, and Lin Xian spat out large mouthfuls of blood. At the same time, he used the void escape technique to quickly dodge. Humph! Peerless Saint King coldly snorted. The unparalleled sword flew out, cutting through the void. On the other side, vast ocean saint also attacked. Endless seawater churned, and one sea beast after another swept out in all directions, covering the entire sky. Then, the void completely shattered. From inside, a person with a mistress appeared. A black-clothed figure appeared. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian snorted coldly. You really did attack again. It seemed that the myriad sword pavilion and the human world were also connected. If that was the case, then there was no need for them to exist. Damn it! The surrounding people's pupils shrank. Even Divine Ghost Saint King was stunned. To be honest, he did not plan to let the human world attack, because he wanted to do it himself. How could this be? On the side, Silver Corpse Saint King said, "It's useless to think about it now. Let's join forces and kill them." Obviously, the human world's people were called over by Silver Corpse Saint King. Divine Ghost Saint King's face was ugly. But at this point, it was impossible for him to go back on his words. Now, he could only join forces and kill Peerless Saint King and the others. Junior brother, you should retreat. Peerless Saint King unleashed a devouring vortex. Lin Xian nodded and quickly retreated. Next, there would be an even more terrifying battle between the Saint Kings. Sure enough, the surrounding people of the true spirit world were stunned. No way, the Saint Kings were going to attack. And there were so many of them. Peerless, today is the day you die. Divine Ghost Saint King roared and rushed over with the Firmament Sword. The Firmament Sword emitted endless killing intent, overturning heaven and earth. The surrounding people were all sent flying, vomiting blood. Run away quickly. They were no match for the battle between the Saint Kings. Peerless Saint King snorted coldly. At the same time, the surrounding people all retreated. The Saint Kings instantly attacked. Attack! Silver Corpse Saint King roared. But at this moment, the void split open and a ray of light scattered, directly striking Spirit Saint King. Just as Spirit Saint King was about to attack, he was ambushed from behind and was sent flying. Even Silver Corpse Saint King was shocked. He hurriedly used the Yellow Springs diagram to defend. At the same time, he looked around and roared crazily. Who dares ambush us? Spirit Saint King Yen coughed up large mouthfuls of blood. His body had been shattered by this attack, and he was severely injured. Blood flowed, dyeing the 9 heavens red. He roared at the sky, his expression ferocious. His terrifying gaze pierced through the space behind him. In the void behind him, a hazy figure appeared. The aura emitted from his body was very mysterious. And above his head, there was a pagoda floating up and down. That pagoda was emitting a terrifying power. The aura on it was enough to shatter heaven and earth. The desolate tower's phantom. Spirit Saint King felt his hair stand on end. He felt a fatal aura. Chapter 4407. had the Jade Lake's sacred ground made a move. However, that was only an illusion. It didn't really walk out. And after that attack, it disappeared into the void. The surrounding Saint Kings also felt their hair stand on end. Desolation was an extreme weapon, an existence that could suppress everything. If it really exploded, they wouldn't be able to resist at all. But fortunately, the other party only attacked once and didn't attack again. One attack was enough. Saint King Kunlun walked out with a cold smile. The previous attack had already seriously injured Saint King's spirit word. Saint King Vast Sea and Saint King Bai Bua also walked out. They all stared at Saint King's spirit word. Saint King's spirit word's expression was extremely ugly. He was first seriously injured, and now he was targeted by 3 great sage kings. Even if he was very strong before, he was probably very dangerous now. He gritted his teeth and roared. "You people dare to plot against me? You really don't know what death is." Saint King Vast Sea snorted coldly. "Plot against you? What a joke." Previously, at the sacred assembly of the ancient grotto, we were all cursed. Then, we were poisoned by the great sage's corpse poison. Didn't you plot against us at that time? What face do you have to talk about us? Saint King Bua also snorted coldly. What do you want to say? Didn't you say that it was you who did it? If you really have nothing to do with the human world, then retreat now. We only target the divine ghost Saint Kings who are related to the human world. If you don't retreat, then you're in cahoots. What nonsense. You want to target the ancient grotto. The ancient grotto has never been afraid of anyone. At this time, Saint King's spirit word didn't admit that he had anything to do with the human world. After all, the human world was very terrifying. Every tens of thousands of years, they would attack the great sage once, setting off a sea of blood that terrified countless people. Every single time, the various holy lands had to join forces and attack together in order to quell such an existence. He wouldn't take the initiative to admit it. However, at this time, a voice sounded between heaven and earth. Is that so? Then your grandson is alive again. How do you explain that? Hearing this, Saint King's spirit word's pupils constricted. He suddenly raised his head. In the next moment, he saw a young person fall from the sky. It was his grandson. Shi Yunhu. When the Kunlun Sage King and the others saw this, their faces darkened. This was because they had seen with their own eyes that this young man had been killed by the people of the mortal world. However, at that moment, he had come back to life. His situation was the same as Sacred King Desolate Heaven. Old thing, are you still saying that you have nothing to do with the human world? Then why is your grandson alive? The Divine King snorted coldly. Damn it, who was it that actually discovered the secret? Didn't he ask her grandson to hide properly? He looked up. In the next moment, his expression turned extremely cold. This was because he discovered that the person who had attacked was actually Scholar Immortal. Damn it, the divine Tao Gates people really came. In the sky, the deity Tao Union's undying scholar said coldly, Immemorial Grotto, you are indeed in cahoots with the mortal world. Since that's the case, I'll eliminate all of you today. It seemed like this time, Divine Tao Gate was truly angered, wishing to get rid of World of Man, as well as those related to Time of Man. The surrounding people of the quintessential world also exclaimed in surprise. Immemorial Grotto was actually in cahoots with World of Man. This was really too unbelievable. Not only did World of Man make a move on the second astral realm, but it was also extremely terrifying in the quintessential world. It was the legendary sacred killing hole. Now, such a person had appeared again. This was really shocking to the great World of Man. Moreover, what shocked them even more was that the sacred city of the second astral realm was going to be completely eliminated. World of man, damn it, Sacred King Yanling's expression turned cold. Since he had been discovered, he no longer hid it. He said coldly, "That's right, I am indeed in cahoots with World of Man." So what? However, you guessed wrong. Not only am I in cahoots with World of Man, but I'm also a member of World of Man. When these words came out, even Sacred King Peerless and the others were stunned. The other party was originally a member of World of Man. Damn it, it seemed like everything that had happened before had been planned by the other party. Originally, I wanted to let you live a little longer, but since you want to court death, I'll fulfill your wish. Sacred King Yanling shouted coldly. Then, he said, "Get ready to attack. Leave no one alive." After he finished speaking, the surrounding sky started to shatter. Sacred King Silver Corpse, Sacred King Divine Ghost, and Divine King Fei Tian also walked out. Extremely cold auras were emitted from their bodies. At the same time, there were many masked men in black around them. The power on their bodies was equally terrifying. These were all sacred kings. Acheron Hall, Great Desolation Mansion, and Wanjian Pavilion. You're all involved. Even the myriad demon city was participating. Very well. Immortal Scholar also emitted a terrifying aura. Not only you, but the sacred city that you're in doesn't need to exist anymore. Hearing this, the sacred king's pupils shrank. Although they already knew that there would be such an outcome, when they heard this, their scalps still went numb. It seemed like they could only join forces with World of Man. Otherwise, they would have no way of surviving. The people of Thunder God City also went numb. They never thought that their previous friend was actually a member of World of Man. This scared them out of their wits. They hurriedly said, "This has nothing to do with us. We didn't know." Immortal Scholar glanced at these people and said, "Thunder God City indeed has nothing to do with this. However, you've all helped the evildoers. Now that the sacred kings have been killed, you deserve it. So, quickly leave this place." The people of Thunder God City turned pale and quickly retreated. Actually, it wasn't just them. Everyone in the surroundings was retreating. This was because more and more sacred kings had appeared. Countless terrifying auras were condensing in the sky. Those below the sacred king realm simply couldn't withstand it. Lin Xian, Linghu Chueshue, and the others also quickly retreated. A vortex appeared on their bodies as they quickly flew into the distance. The geniuses of the other sacred cities did the same. Guan Songhai of Azure Ocean Palace, Qin Sienna of Acacia Palace, Kunlun Pavilion, and Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion did the same. They all quickly retreated. This was because they had already discussed this beforehand. Peerless Sacred King and the other sacred kings would join forces with the deity Dao Union and start a decisive battle with World of Man. Then, these young disciples would pass through the seal and head to the buried Emperor Star. This way, even if the deity Dao Union failed, World of Man wouldn't be able to threaten them. Soon, Murong Qingqing, Shen Jingqiu, and the others had all gathered. Even the dark red divine dragon, the toad, and the North Demon had all come. These people hadn't been to the primordial battlefield before. Chapter 4408. Lin Xian also sighed in his heart. Were they finally going to reach the buried Emperor Star? That was the place where countless great emperors were buried. There were countless secrets and even secrets to becoming an immortal. It was also the end of the ancient starry sky path. He wondered what kind of world it was. His eyes were filled with boundless hope and curiosity. Their goal this time was the Reincarnation Valley. They had to find the Reincarnation Protector. This should be the place, right? Guan Songhai looked around and then looked at the valley. Let's go. These young geniuses quickly descended. They became incomparably respectful. After all, even their sage kings treated the reincarnation protector with respect. Junior requests an audience, reincarnation protector. Guan Songhai said loudly. His voice clearly spread in all directions. Everyone waited patiently, but there was no response. Guan Songhai called out again respectfully. At this moment, a voice rang out between heaven and earth. You are not qualified to see me. Ask your sage kings to come. Also, those below sage kings should not come here. This time, I will let you live. If you dare to come here again, your souls will be destroyed. Scram! A terrifying voice rushed over, followed by an earth-shattering sound that surged towards them. Everyone felt their pupils constrict. It was as if their bodies were about to be suppressed by 100,000 mountains. Even Lin Xian's face became incomparably pale. Too strong. This reincarnation protector was probably even more terrifying than Sage King Yanling. Was he a Sage King? Or had he already surpassed the Sage King realm? However, why did they attack him? He roared angrily. This power made it very difficult for him to open the Great Sage Tower. These people were in despair. Could it be that they were going to die? It had not been easy for them to reach this point. However, they were unable to resist this voice at all. These people's eyes were filled with despair. At this moment, a light flashed. Boundless black aura condensed and enveloped them. Then, they completely disappeared. In the blink of an eye, everyone discovered that they had left the reincarnation valley and were outside. They did not know how many millions of miles they were away. Were they saved? These people all heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian was also surprised. Originally, he had wanted to use the Great Sage Pagoda to bring everyone in, but before he could do anything, someone had already made a move. Who could it be? To be able to take them away so easily, it was definitely a Saint King. The other people also turned their heads to look. In the next moment, they saw a black-robed person standing behind them. Thank you for your help, Senior. Those people said gratefully. Lin Xian was surprised. Hey Shan, it's you. That's right, the person who attacked was Hey Shan. You came just in time to scare this dragon to death. The dark red dragon also had a look of lingering fear on its face. The toad said. Damn it, that guy is too arrogant. He obviously wants to kill us. There were also people who said, don't talk nonsense. The reincarnation protector only has a weird temper. However, after He Shan heard this, he sneered. Eccentric? Not necessarily. What do you know? Lin Xian asked. He Shan said that he had been invited to the primordial grotto. His relationship with Saint King Yanling was very unusual. If Saint King Yanling was from the mortal world, then what about him? When these words came out, everyone's scalps went numb. Lin Xian also said, is he also from the mortal world? He Shan shook his head. Obviously, he knew more. He said, he's not. I'm guessing that he should be from the buried Emperor Star. Is he from the buried Emperor Star? Lin Xian was surprised. No wonder. This explained why the other party was so powerful and why these Saint Kings were so respectful when they saw him. Also, during the primordial grotto's banquet, Han Chong and the others stayed by his side. Because these people were originally from the buried Emperor Star. He Shan said that although he came from the buried Emperor Star, he was responsible for guarding the Reincarnation Valley all year round. He had stayed here for thousands of years. Therefore, his relationship with Saint King Yanling was definitely not ordinary. Even if he wasn't from the mortal world, perhaps this time, he would still stand on the side of the mortal world. Hearing this, the expressions of Lin Xian and the others became unsightly. If that was really the case, then they would be in danger. If that was the case, wouldn't they be unable to enter the buried Emperor Star? He Shan said that there was still a chance. As long as they could win this battle, it would be fine. You guys stay here for now. I'll go and take a look at the situation. If necessary, I'll also take action. He Shan's eyes also flashed with a cold light. Lin Xian said, "Take us with you. We want to watch the battle from afar." "Alright, I can only take you a short distance. However, you should still watch the battle through the formation. With so many Saint Kings fighting, kid, even if you have a trump card, it'll be very difficult to resist." Next, He Shan brought these people to the eastern wasteland. Then, he soared into the sky. Because the Saint Kings were fighting, they had already arrived in the starry sky. He Shan set up a formation so that Lin Xian and the others could see the situation in the starry sky. At this moment, the situation of the battle was incomparably terrifying. The entire starry sky had been completely destroyed. Countless large cracks spread out, and the surrounding stars were shattered. Some were directly turned into dust. This was simply too shocking. One had to know that they were all top geniuses. They could sweep through everything in the sacred venerables. However, compared to the Saint Kings, they were still too weak. The methods of these Saint Kings terrified them. Peerless Saint King fought Saint King God Ghost. Both of them used sword techniques. It was very terrifying. The peerless sword soared through the sky, majestic, and the firmament sword was even sharper. When it stood up, it was very terrifying. However, peerless Saint King seemed to be stronger. Moreover, the law of devouring was even more terrifying. In the end, he devoured the firmament sword. Then, he slashed at Saint King God Ghost. Saint King God Ghost was instantly split in half. He was severely injured. Ah! He roared towards the sky and broke through the void, wanting to escape. Peerless Saint King snorted coldly. "You want to escape?" He also shattered the spatial passage with a sword and stopped the other party. Then, he charged forward again. Peerless Saint King was Wine Lord's disciple. He had also received the law of devouring, and his strength was very terrifying. Therefore, no matter how strong Saint King God Ghost was, he was still defeated in the end and was severely injured. Seeing that he could not escape, he roared angrily. "Wu Shuang, do you think you can win against me? Even if I die, I will drag you to hell with me." The 10,000 ancestral swords on his body were even more terrifying. Sword Chi soared into the sky, and the illusion of the world surrounded him. This aura shocked everyone. The Saint Kings in the starry sky were all terrified. They knew that Saint King God Ghost was going to go all out. Below, the creatures on the eastern wasteland were trembling and kneeling on the ground. Chapter 4409. Do you want to risk your life? Wu Shuang Holy King roared in anger. His eyes were shining brightly. Then, the law of devour around him kept flashing, forming a black talisman that merged with the peerless sword. The sword slashed out. Everything was over. That sword strike shocked everyone. No one could block that terrifying power. After the sword, Divine Ghost Sage King completely disappeared, turning into a bloody mist. Everyone was stunned. A Sage King had fallen just like that. Lin Xian and the others were excited. They clenched their fists. As for the Sage Kings who were fighting in the extraterritorial battle, their hearts were heavy. The deity Dao Union was naturally happy, but the mortal world side was cold. Divine Ghost Sage King was an extremely terrifying Sage King. Now, he had fallen to such a state. Peerless Sage King stood there, looking disdainfully. He said coldly, "Divine Ghost Sage King has fallen. We will find the 10,000 Swords Pavilion and destroy it completely. From now on, the 10,000 Swords Pavilion will be removed from the world." An ice-cold voice resounded through the air. On the other side, Kunlun Sage King also killed a mortal world sage killer. The bloody mist filled the sky again. Another divine king had fallen. Black Mountain also walked out. He stared at Soaring Sage King and said coldly, "Since you are also a heavenly beast, I will give you a quick death. Surrender." "Damn it, you!" Soaring Sage King roared. He was a Sage King. How could he lose without a fight? So he roared and turned into his true form. He held two swords and quickly attacked. The boundless saber light flickered in the starry heavens, and the surrounding stars dimmed. Heaven and earth were shattered. It was as if the starry sky was being destroyed. At this moment, the experts below raised their heads again. Their faces were filled with fear. Countless demonic beasts roared into the sky. Too powerful. However, Black Mountain sneered. "When I ruled the world, you weren't even born yet. You dare to attack me? Don't overestimate yourself." He flipped his palm and formed a black seal. He slammed it down. With a boom, the sword light in the sky was shattered. That black seal was like a millstone. It was pitch black. What weapon was that? However, it was extremely terrifying. As soon as it appeared, it swept through everything. Soaring Sky Saint King was sent flying as he coughed out a mouthful of blood. His face was filled with terror. Was the disparity between them so great? "Damn it! Take my flying deity slash!" Tens of thousands of blade lights appeared between heaven and earth. Each of them was burning like a peerless immortal light as they charged towards Black Mountain. As for Heishan, he formed seals with his palms. Countless black rays of light appeared around him, as if they had turned into tree branches, waving in all directions. These branches were pitch black, like sharp black arrows that pierced through everything. The saber light that filled the sky shattered once again. As for the Soaring Sky Saint King, he was pierced through and thousands of cracks appeared on his body. His face was filled with terror. "Demonic beast, you are also a demonic beast." At this moment, he could feel the terrifying aura of a demonic beast from the black branches. It was even stronger than him. It was as if a primordial beast was in a deep slumber. "Spare my life. We are all variant beasts of heaven and earth, please spare me this once." The Soaring Sky Saint King was already begging for mercy. "I gave you a chance before, but you didn't cherish it. However, I can still give you another chance. It's impossible for you to live. However, I can accept your 1,000-demon city. I will kill all the saints. As for those below the saints, I can keep their lives and nurture them again." The Soaring Sky Saint King was in despair. If he died, what would he do with the Saint City? Therefore, he roared towards the sky. He quickly charged over. The power of his bloodline and laws were burning. It was obvious that he was going to risk his life. However, Black Mountain sneered. The black seal bloomed with light and froze the sky. The Soaring Sky Saint King was also frozen there, unable to move at all. He let out an unwilling roar, but in an instant, tens of thousands of black branches pierced through his body and turned him into a bloody mist. Another Saint King had fallen. Everyone felt their hair stand on end. These Saint Kings were all supreme existences. Usually, they were like gods that they could only look up to. However, at this moment, they were like ants that kept falling. It was as if the end of the world was coming. Countless Saint Kings looked at Black Mountain and nodded slightly. However, in the next moment, he was stunned and looked down. His gaze pierced through everything and then he frowned. Junior brother Lin, why are they here? Didn't they go to the Reincarnation Valley? Logically speaking, they should have gone to the buried Emperor Star by now. However, Black Mountain said that there was a situation there. The Reincarnation Protectors did not meet them. It seemed that they did not intend to release the seal. Damn it! The peerless Saint King's expression changed. The Saint Kings beside him also had cold expressions. This guy actually dared to not follow the rules. He actually dared to not follow the rules. The everlasting Saint King snorted coldly. On the other side, the people of the mortal world sneered. All of you have to die. Kill them. These Saint Kings also roared furiously and charged over quickly. The Saint King Yen Ling roared. He fought against 3 great sage Saint Kings alone. Although he was suppressed, he became more and more courageous as he fought. On the other side, the Saint King's silver corpse was also terrifying as he controlled countless corpses. There was even a mysterious black-clothed Saint King who waved the black flag in his hand. Countless souls within it roared crazily and released terrifying soul attacks. There was also the Saint King Lei Shen's power. In an instant, the battle broke out once again. Even the peerless Saint King felt the pressure. Every Saint King was in danger of dying at any time. Fortunately, it was not only the second astral realm this time. Many saint cities of the true spirit world also participated in the battle. Therefore, they were able to withstand the attacks. Otherwise, just the corpse poison of the great sage would be enough to sweep through everything. This time, the corpse poison of the great sage was blocked by the saint water of the Jade Lake, resolving the crisis. At this moment, the old Saint King of the great desolate mansion was disheveled. He had once again reached his peak state. He had turned into a young man with a valiant appearance. At this moment, his eyes were not focused. Suddenly, he saw Lin Xian and the others below. They were actually still here. Great! If he could capture these youths, they would be able to threaten these Saint Kings. Thinking of this, he quickly charged down. He turned into a stream of light and instantly tore through the void and arrived below. A terrifying aura swept through everything. The ground below was constantly crumbling. Guan Sanghai, Li Hongxiu, and the others instantly felt their bodies stiffen. They could no longer move. Even Lin Xian's pupils shrank. Damn it, I was discovered by the Saint King. Chapter 44:10. This was a powerful Saint Venerate. He was much more terrifying than ordinary Saint Kings. If he wasn't so old, he would be even more terrifying. If such a person were to attack them, would they be able to defend themselves? However, at this moment, a roar came from afar. It was as if the sky was falling. Then, an aurora rushed over and enveloped the old Saint King. Boom! The old Saint King roared and split into pieces. He escaped to the outer realm. As for the aurora, it slowly disappeared. Everyone felt as if they were dreaming. Murong Qingqing said that it was the power of the ancient desolate tower. Yao Qi used the ancient desolate tower again. Was it an extreme weapon? Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. Great! They were saved. Qin Xianer said that since the true spirit world had extreme weapons, why didn't they use them? Murong Qingqing had said that the extreme grade weapon was a divine weapon left behind by a great emperor. Its power was too frightening, let alone a saint. Even a Saint King would not be able to activate it. In order to activate an extreme grade weapon, the amount of resources and power required was simply too much. Basically, they wouldn't use them unless the emperor's families were in danger. Moreover, there had been a dark battle in the true spirit world, and extreme weapons had been used. Therefore, it was basically impossible to completely use extreme weapons now. Of course, it was still possible to use the pressure of an extreme-grade weapon to attack. Just like before. After everyone heard this, they were enlightened. It seemed that the power of extreme weapons had exceeded their imagination. Perhaps no one in this world could use them. Lin Xian also knew that the 10,000 ancient races had used a lot of extreme weapons to sweep through everything back then. No matter how powerful the desolate ancient families were, it wouldn't be so easy to use them again. In the sky, the old Saint King escaped far away. However, his body was still burning and turning into a bloody mist. He was too old. Being attacked by an extreme weapon was definitely a serious injury. Therefore, at this moment, he had used up the last of his life and turned into dust. He no longer existed. Damn it! Fight! On the side of the Soul Kings, their eyes were red. Too many of their people had fallen. Even those Saint Killers didn't care about anything. Even if they died, they would still attack. This was especially true for Sacred King Yanling, who was even more aggressive and sent the people around him flying. Seeing this, Peerless Sacred King took a deep breath. Black Mountain, on the other hand, set to use the Great Dragon Sword in the final battle. In a situation where an apex weapon couldn't appear, the Great Dragon Sword was probably the only useful thing. Junior brother. Peerless Saint King looked down. Lin Xian nodded and rose into the air. At the same time, the phantom of the Great Sage Hall appeared beside him and enveloped him like a suit of armor. In the next instant, he took out his Great Dragon Sword Soul, and a terrifying dragon roar resounded through the 9 heavens. Everyone raised their heads again. Even the people from the 3 dragons were shocked. What kind of power was this? He could probably command a group of dragons. As for Lin Xian, he held the Great Dragon Sword Spirit in his hand and said in a clear voice, "Give me all your strength." As they spoke, those Saint Kings also quickly made their moves. As they fought, they unleashed their power. The Great Dragon Sword Spirit gathered quite a bit of energy. Then, it started to change rapidly. It was as though a divine dragon had been revived. Its power was terrifying. Even Lin Xian was shocked. He was under so much pressure that cracks appeared on his divine body. He roared at the sky, and the 9 yang divine bodies shone with a terrifying light. Lin Xian directly slashed down with his sword. This sword slashed at the Silver Corpse Saint King. The Silver Corpse Saint King tried to block it, but he was cut in half. His cracked body roared non-stop, trying to recover. In the end, he found that it was impossible. Damn it, what's going on? He screamed in fear. He had encountered countless things, but he had never encountered such a strange thing. What did his opponent use? An apex weapon. How could it be so terrifying? The expressions of the surrounding people changed drastically. Damn it! Suddenly, a Saint Killer charged toward Lin Xian. 2 Saint Killers were cut in half by Lin Xian's sword, and they turned into blood mist. Then, Lin Xian swept his sword again. Another Saint Killer shattered, and then the power of the Great Dragon Sword Spirit disappeared. At this moment, the others were terrified. This was a good opportunity to kill the other party. As for Lin Xian, he directly hid in the Great Sage Pagoda, allowing these people to attack him. No matter how strong these Saint Kings were, they could not break the defense of the Great Sage Pagoda. Then, Peerless Saint King used the Law of Devour again, absorbing the power of the surrounding Saint Kings and giving it to the Great Dragon Sword Spirit. The Great Dragon Sword Spirit roared again, sweeping in all directions. Boom boom boom. This time, Lin Xian mainly attacked the Silver Corpse Saint King. It was all because of this despicable guy. The Silver Corpse Saint King was killed in endless fear, and not even a drop of blood was left. No! When Saint King Yen saw this, he roared crazily. He had gone crazy. Did the silver corpse Saint King also die? This was the most promising of all his sons. He had already become a Saint King, and he estimated that he would surpass him in the future. This was his hope, but now he had fallen. Damn it, I'll kill you. He quickly rushed over. Lin Xian waved the great dragon sword spirit and fought with the other party. Boom! The two collided. The power of the great dragon sword spirit disappeared, and on the other side, one of Saint King Yan's arms was cut off. He roared crazily in the air. It was obvious that this attack had seriously injured him. Damn it, what was this thing? The other saint in black had a cold expression. It was the legendary saint technique, the Great Dragon Sword. It seemed that he was the successor of the Great Dragon Sword. Damn it, let's go, I won't be able to kill them this time. After saying that, the black flag swept in all directions, wanting to leave. However, Saint King Yen was not willing to give up. I don't believe it. He waved his hand and took out an ancient stone. Primordial stone. The people in the human world exclaimed. Are you crazy? However, Saint King Yen had really gone crazy. Kid, go to hell. The primordial stone bloomed with endless light, and then it flew forward. The light appeared, and the primordial stone cracked. At this moment, the sky fell and the earth cracked, destroying everything. Not good. When the other Saint Kings saw this scene, their pupils constricted. That was the primordial stone, and its power was equivalent to a Saint King's weapon. Now that it cracked, it was equivalent to a Saint King's weapon being destroyed. The surrounding people were stunned. A Saint King's weapon was destroyed, and the power was too terrifying. It was enough to destroy several worlds. If a Saint King was hit, it would be difficult for him to escape. Therefore, they all quickly retreated. The primordial stone charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian's pupils constricted. At this moment, the great dragon sword spirit did not have much power left. Chapter 44:11. However, he did not dodge. Instead, he activated the world core. Lin Xian also controlled two worlds. That was the dual rain planet. At this moment, the benefits of having two worlds were displayed. Lin Xian could directly mobilize the power of two worlds across the boundless starry sky. At this moment, the two worlds dimmed. The power of the two worlds surged into his body and was injected into the great dragon sword soul. The great dragon sword soul roared again, as if it had been revived. With the power of two worlds, it slashed forward. Boom! The shocking battle blocked that destructive aura. That's great. Peerless Sage King and the rest heaved a sigh of relief. Then, they gathered the power of these Sage Kings and attacked. The great dragon sword soul became stronger again and slashed down. Boom! Sage King Spiritual King Yen was split in half. Half of his body turned into a bloody mist, while the other half flew into the black flag. It tore open the void and quickly left. Lin Xian swung his sword again. However, those people from the mortal world had mastered an extremely powerful movement technique and disappeared from the world. Lin Xian did not make a move. This was because using the great dragon sword of this level had a huge impact on his physique. At this moment, his divine body was covered in cracks. Blood flowed out from within. The golden blood was abnormally terrifying. It was also because he had a divine body. Otherwise, the other sage sovereigns would probably not be able to use a single sword. Big Brother Xian. Murong Qingqing flew over and took out the Jade Lake holy water. She covered Lin Xian with it and started to provide Lin Xian with great power. This caused the cracks to quickly heal. The surrounding sea of blood was too terrifying. This time, at least a dozen sage kings had fallen. There were those from the deity Dao Union and even more from the mortal world. It could be said that this time, the mortal world had suffered a heavy blow. Sage King Silver Corpse, Sage King Divine Ghost, Sage King Flying Sage King, and the old Sage King of the Great Desolate Mansion had all fallen. Other than that, many of the masked Sage Kings had also fallen. After this battle, even if the mortal world still existed, their strength would be greatly reduced. As for the saint cities where these saint kings were, they would also take action. After finding them, they would remove their names from the myriad realms. Shao Qin left this matter to the deity Dao Union. Even if the holy cities were sealed, they would be able to find them. Lin Xian and the others knew that these people were finished. The people of True Spirit World raised their heads to look at the sky. Their faces were filled with fear. At this moment, the sky had already turned red. It released a terrifying aura. That aura wanted to tear their bodies apart. This was such a shocking battle. So many Saint Kings had fallen. This had probably never happened in the past few thousand years. At the same time, the second astral realm was also in a state of shock. This news was brought back by the people of the deity Dao Union and spread in all directions. When they learned that Holy King Silver Corpse, Holy King Skysoar, the old Holy King of Great Desolation Mansion, and Holy King Divine Ghost had died, they were stunned. At first, they didn't believe it. It was impossible. Who could make all these Saint Kings fall? However, when they learned that it was a fight between dozens of Saint Kings, and that the Silver Corpse Saint King and the others were from the human world, they were all stunned. The mortal world in the second astral realm was simply a nightmare. Who would have thought that it would actually be by their side? Moreover, it was these Saint Kings. Could it be that these Saint Kings had really fallen? Did none of them escape? Next, when they saw the sealed Acheron Palace and 10,000 Swords Pavilion being found and destroyed, they were shocked. They were completely convinced. Because these holy cities would vanish into thin air and cease to exist. Demon City. Their seals had also been removed, and they had been found. The people of the Demon City were filled with despair. They had also received news that the Holy King had been killed. They felt as if the sky was falling. When they saw what had happened to the other holy cities, they were also terrified. On this day, a black-robed man arrived. He stood there like a celestial being. The people in the Demon City were all terrified. Was the end of the world coming? This figure was He Shan. He said in a clear voice. Now, seeing that you are all demonic beasts, I will give you a chance. Those of the holy cities can report to hell. Those below the holy cities. Those who submit to me can live. If you resist, there is no need to exist. What? All the holy cities had fallen. Damn it. The eyes of those holy venerables and elders instantly turned red. Run. For a time, countless people fled in all directions. However, in the sky, He Shan sneered. He stretched out a hand, and a black tree appeared behind him. It was indomitable and directly enveloped the world. It completely enveloped the entire holy city. In an instant, those saints were all pierced through and turned into a bloody mist that was absorbed by the black tree. Those below the holy cities were so scared that they prostrated themselves on the ground. We are willing to submit. They also felt that this black-robed man had an extremely terrifying aura. Moreover, he was also a Saint King. It seemed that the other party wanted to regain control of them. Alright, from now on, I am the city lord of your demon city. After saying that, a terrifying aura erupted once again, engulfing the world. True Spirit World. The primordial grotto was also affected. After all, Holy King Yanling had also escaped. Therefore, the primordial grotto was destroyed. However, the primordial grotto was extremely terrifying. There were also some core areas that had an extremely terrifying aura of death. Even the people of the refining gods Dao Union did not dare to enter rashly. Of course, no one walked out of the grotto. In fact, everyone thought that it was a place of death, so they did not pay any attention to it. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others were waiting again. They were waiting for the seal to open. Peerless Saint King, Kunlun Saint King, and the others joined forces and brought Lin Xian and the others there once. However, they found that the reincarnation guardian had already gone into seclusion. They could only leave and wait for the next opportunity. Eastern Wilderness. In a canyon, a figure stood there. His eyes were black and white, and it was very strange. It was Yuruo. At this moment, he was facing the canyon in front of him with a solemn expression. There was also a terrifying aura in the canyon. It was obvious that Yuruo was cultivating here. There were some people around. When they felt the aura emitted from Yuruo, their scalps went numb. What a terrifying genius. No one dared to disturb him. At this moment, a few figures flew over from the vicinity. The aura of these people was even more terrifying. It was the buried Emperor Star. Jingyun was also there. At this moment, he was gnashing his teeth. After all, he had kowtowed and admitted his mistake. This matter had spread and shocked everyone. He had found someone to avenge him. That person was his younger brother. Although he was young, his talent and strength were stronger than his. Therefore, he said, "Brother, treat me well." "Little brother, how have I treated you? This time, you must avenge me." Beside Jingyun, there was an even younger person. He said, "Big brother, don't worry. No matter who it is, if they dare to bully you, I will make them wish they were dead." Hearing this, Jingyun revealed a sinister smile. His younger brother had already become a half-step king. Chapter 44:12. The group of people flew quickly in the sky. Suddenly, Jingyun was stunned and looked down. "What's wrong, brother?" the young man beside him asked. Jingyun sneered. "I found him. Although I didn't find that kid, I found one of his companions. If I catch her, I'll be able to find out where that kid is. Maybe I can even get him to come out." After saying that, the group descended into the canyon below. The people below were all comprehending in the canyon. Suddenly, they raised their heads and felt an extremely terrifying power coming from the sky. It was as if their bodies were going to explode. "Retreat quickly." They frantically retreated. Those who retreated too slowly were sent flying, coughing up mouthfuls of blood. This was just the descent of the aura. If these people attacked, how terrifying would it be? Yuruo suddenly opened her eyes and looked at the sky with her black and white eyes. The next moment, her pupils shrank and she quickly retreated. "You want to leave? It's too late." In the sky, a sneer was heard. Then, endless wind and clouds changed, forming a cage that sealed the surroundings. Then, a group of people descended. The surrounding people were all frightened and raised their heads to look. Who is this person? Why is he so terrifying? When they saw Jingyun, they exclaimed in surprise. "It's him. He's an expert from the buried Emperor Star. No wonder he's so terrifying. You should be Lin Xian's companion. Tell me where he is obediently. I can let you suffer less." Jingyun's cold voice sounded. Yuruo's face was cold. She didn't expect to meet these people. She sneered. "You're just a loser. What right do you have to be arrogant in front of Marshal Uncle Lin? I advise you to get lost quickly. Otherwise, when Marshal Uncle Lin comes, you'll have to kneel again. You're courting death. Jingyun was instantly enraged. This was his scar. Since the other party wasn't courting death, he wouldn't be polite. Sky Cloud Hand. In an instant, a terrifying aura rushed out. A white cloud palm pressed down from the sky. At that moment, it was like the palm of a god. Yuruo naturally knew how powerful the other party was. Therefore, she didn't dare to be careless. Her black and white eyes released two extremely terrifying lights. They turned into dragons and flew forward. They pierced through the void. The two gigantic dragons danced in the sky. Then, with a sweep of their tails, the heaven and earth collapsed. Wherever it passed, it blocked the clouds that filled the sky. It was useless. Jingyun sneered without fear. The heavenly cloud hand was about to land, and sure enough, the two dragons kept shattering. Yuruo also felt immense pressure. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Although the other party had lost and even knelt in front of Lin Xian, this did not mean that the other party was weak. The other party was too terrifying. In the true spirit world and the second astral world, the other party could definitely sweep through everything. However, Lin Xian was too heaven-defying. That was the reason why her opponent had been defeated. However, Yuruo was unable to defeat her opponent. As she retreated and spat out blood, Yuruoyan erupted with a cold light. Then, she launched a powerful eye-technique attack. Jingyun snorted coldly. His body swayed and he almost fell from the sky. In the next moment, he roared madly. You dare to injure my soul? He roared madly. No matter how strong he was now at a disadvantage in the hands of the other party. In the next moment, he roared. Sky Cloud Hand, first transformation. A terrifying power instantly erupted. At the same time, the laws in his body condensed to prevent the soul bombardment. Yuruo vomited blood. She could not block the Sky Cloud Hand and was about to be defeated. However, at this moment, endless frost condensed between heaven and earth. The speed of the Sky Cloud Hand slowed down. Then, a figure rescued Yuruo. Are you alright? Lu Yuan came. The icy aura on his body erupted. Yuruo said, I'm fine, but they're too strong. Let's go first. Lu Yuan nodded. The two wanted to leave. At this moment, a young man behind them spoke. You want to leave? Stay here. He stomped his foot, and the ground cracked open. A force rushed towards the two of them. Not good, quickly dodge. The two of them quickly retreated, their faces full of horror. Then, he said, let's join forces. The two of them attacked together to block this attack. In the next moment, the two of them were sent flying. How could the other party be so strong? Who was this person? The two of them were too shocked. One had to know that although they could not defeat Jingyun, the two of them could still contend with him if they joined forces. However, they could not defeat this young man. This person's strength had already surpassed that of a holy venerate. Leave quickly. More experts have come to the buried Emperor Star. The two of them turned pale. However, the young man walked out and said coldly, with just the two of you, do you think you can escape from my hands? I'll break your limbs and make you kneel in front of my brother, Kowtow, and admit your mistakes. Then, when that Lin Xian comes, I'll make him suffer a fate worse than death. Jinka walked out, bringing with him a cold aura. Yuruo and Lu Yuan both despaired. They felt a huge pressure enveloping their bodies. They were unable to move at all. However, at this moment, a bolt of thunder descended from the sky. It was like a divine sword. The terrifying power directly attacked Jingyun. Jingyun roared and used the sky cloud hand. However, he was sent flying. He was terrified. That thunder was going to pierce through him. "Brother, save me!" he roared crazily. Jinka also suddenly turned his head. A terrifying attack erupted from his eyes. In the next moment, a large hand stretched out and directly enveloped that thunder. The two collided. It was as if two worlds had collided. It was earth-shattering. This attack destroyed the thunder and killed Jingyun. When he turned his head, his expression was completely cold. That was because he discovered that Yu Ruo and Lu Yuan had disappeared. They had been rescued by someone. He had just said that with him around, neither of them would be able to escape. But now, the other party had disappeared. This was a slap to his face. He roared, and the power of his body continued to erupt. A terrifying aura swept through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. His gaze seemed to have turned into a divine lamp that swept through the surroundings. In the next moment, he attacked the void in the distance. This attack was too terrifying. The people around the canyon all prostrated themselves on the ground because the void in the sky had turned into chaos. The light of destruction emitted by that light was enough to pierce through a world. Not good. In the distant void, Lu Yuan and Yu Ruo's expressions changed. This attack made them feel as if they were facing a sage king. However, there was also a figure beside them. It was Lin Xian who had saved them. At this moment, Lin Xian also frowned when he sensed this power. He directly used the Taiji diagram, which kept spinning and flying out. The terrifying yin-yang aura turned into a sharp sword and collided with the other party's light of destruction. Then, the power in the sky exploded. Lin Xian took the two of them and used the void escape technique to leave in an instant. Not long after they left, Jinka tore through the void and walked over. Behind him, Jingyun and the other people from the buried Emperor Star also arrived. They looked around and said. There was no one. No one seemed to be injured. Did they escape? How was that possible? These people couldn't believe it. Jinka also frowned. Chapter 44:13. In a mountain range, the void split open and 3 figures walked out. They were Lin Xian, Yu Ruo, and Lu Yuan. After the 3 of them came out, their eyes flickered. Yu Ruo heaved a sigh of relief after being saved. Lu Yuan sighed. He had thought that Jingyun and the others were powerful enough, but he did not expect that there would be people even more powerful than them. The buried Emperor Star was truly unimaginable. No matter, when we go in, we will surpass them one day. Lin Xian's eyes shone with determination. Then, he said, we still don't know how the Reincarnation Valley is doing. Let's wait for Senior Brother Wushuang's news. But before that, I can send you to the sacred lands to cultivate. Really? That's great. The 2 of them were overjoyed. The sacred land's inheritance was also very ancient. It was not inferior to their sacred city at all. Furthermore, their sacred city's foundation was even deeper. Lin Xian said, Lu Yuan, I'll bring you to the ice sacred land. You can cultivate there. As for Yu Ruo, follow me to the yin-yang sacred land. Then, Lin Xian took action. They first went to the ice sacred land. At this moment, Lin Xian and the others' names had already spread throughout the world. These sacred lands were naturally willing to befriend them. In addition, Lin Xian was the temple master. Thus, he quickly stayed in the ice sacred land and cultivated there. As for Lin Xian and Yu Ruo, the 2 of them went to the yin-yang sacred land. The yin-yang sacred land was located in the prefecture. Back then, Lin Xian and the Yin-Yang Sacred Land were sworn enemies. Lin Xian had killed many geniuses and experts of the Yin-Yang Sacred Land. Thus, when he returned, the Yin-Yang Sacred Land had a very strange expression. They did not know how to face him. However, facing Lin Xian's strength and the difference in status, the Yin-Yang Sacred Land sect master did not dare to say anything. Instead, he directly invited the two of them over. Lin Xian did not talk about the past. Instead, he found a place and began to cultivate his Taiji diagram. On the other hand, Yu Ruo was cultivating her black and white eyes. The others were also cultivating and waiting. They were waiting for news from the Reincarnation Valley. However, at that moment, a silhouette appeared in the Reincarnation Valley. He said, "I am Spirit Saint King Yen, and I have come to seek an audience with the Reincarnation Protector." "You're here." A cold voice came from the valley. Then, a figure appeared. It was the Reincarnation Protector. At this moment, his expression was indeed somewhat cold. He said, "Things seem to be developing differently from what you said before. The human world has already lost. What should I do next?" Could it be that he would continue to maintain the seal? This was not in line with the rules. Saint King Yanling's eyes turned cold when he heard this. Damn it! Unexpectedly, the deity Dao Yunyan's strength was this strong this time. But don't worry, the human realm hasn't been completely defeated yet. Furthermore, I believe that the Samsara protectors also know about our relationship with the buried Emperor Star. Not to mention the buried Emperor Star, the immemorial grotto is backed by the primordial ancient mine. This time, I brought this with me. As he spoke, he took out a token. This was an extremely ancient token that gave off a great desolate Aeon aura. When the Reincarnation Protector saw this token, his pupils constricted. He said, "Could it be that those existences from the primordial ancient mine have already awakened? One of the old ancestors has already awakened. So, I believe that the Reincarnation Protector should know who to support, right? Of course, we will not mistreat you." After saying that, the Reincarnation Protector flipped his hand and took out a storage ring. This ring contained the treasure from the primordial ancient mine. It was an old herb from 50,000 years ago. It should be able to help your cultivation reach a higher level. The Reincarnation Protector's eyes lit up. The Reincarnation Protector was even more clear about the human realm. It did not only exist in the second astral realm and the true spirit world. In fact, they also existed in the buried Emperor Star. It could be said to be extremely horrifying. Furthermore, this time, a horrifying person from the primordial ancient mine had awakened. No matter how strong the unparalleled Sage King and the others were, they would not be able to resist them. Even the deity Dao Yunyan would not be able to do so. Therefore, he nodded and said, "I understand. I will close the Reincarnation Valley and open it again after 500 years. Many thanks." Saint King Spirit Yen smiled. He turned around and left. None of these people would be able to go to the buried Emperor Star. Next, they would take revenge in the human realm. 3 days later, the Reincarnation Valley was completely closed. A terrifying aura spread out in all directions. Everyone in the true spirit world could sense it. They all raised their heads and looked into the distance, revealing a look of shock. What happened? Why was this aura so terrifying? It seemed like something was about to appear. Yin-Yang Sacred Land. Lin Xian also opened his eyes. His body was surrounded by Yin-Yang aura. At this moment, he also looked into the distance. Beside him, Yu Ruo was also surprised. What had happened? The people of the Yin-Yang Sacred Land were also shocked. Not only here, but the other sacred lands also discovered it. Immediately, their expressions changed. The sacred leader of the Jade Lake Sacred Land frowned. The Kunlun Sacred King was the same. Murong Qingqing asked, "What happened?" The Kunlun Sacred King said that the aura came from the Reincarnation Valley, and he could no longer sense it. That Reincarnation Protector actually dared to close the Reincarnation Valley. He was completely trying to cut off the path to the buried Emperor Star. What? Murong Qingqing was stunned. Could it be that they could no longer go to the buried Emperor Star? The Jade Lake Sacred Leader also frowned and said coldly. He was too much. He actually dared to do this. It seemed like someone had contacted him. On the other side, in the southern border. In the 100,000 Great Mountains, the peerless Sacred King also raised his head. A look of shock appeared in his eyes. The aura of the Reincarnation Valley had actually disappeared. Was the Reincarnation Protector planning to stand on the side of the human realm? He had never cared about the matters here, but now he actually dared to make a move. It seemed that the human realm was really unwilling to give up. However, the Reincarnation Protector had made a foolish decision this time. Hearing this, Fu Hongye and Linghu Chueshue were also surprised. It seemed that a great change had occurred in the Reincarnation Valley. The other Saint Kings and the Saint Lords of the Sacred Grounds also frowned. Even the everlasting Sacred King roared into the sky, shattering the stars in the sky. The primordial Seacone had already been shattered. However, there was still a place of death further inside the primordial grotto. The aura there was even more terrifying. At this moment, a figure appeared. It was Sacred King Yanling. He continued to walk deeper and entered the primordial ancient mine. The primordial ancient mine was a legendary place. Back then, it was an existence that was on par with the nest of 10,000 dragons. No one dared to enter it, but now he had entered it. Not long after, he came out. After coming out, he was extremely excited because he had obtained a treasure from inside. It was a skull with only one eye. At this moment, that eye was emitting a strange light. It was the heavenly eye. Chapter 44:14. Saint King Yanling formed a seal with his palm. Instantly, the ground of the land of death churned as countless arrays appeared. Then, Saint King Yanling respectfully placed the heavenly eye in the array. Then, countless laws appeared around his body, forming one talisman after another. Then, it pierced through his body. Countless talismans connected with each other as he began to use a secret technique. The heavenly eye seemed to have received some kind of summon and suddenly opened its eyes. Its gaze swept across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. In the 9 heavens, there was an illusion of the heavens looking down as if it wanted to see through everything. At the end of the phone, the heavenly eye enveloped the entire quintessential world. Countless people felt a sense of fear as their souls seemed to be suppressed. Yin Yang Sacred Land. Yu Ruo's pupils constricted as she suddenly closed her eyes. Tears of blood flowed out of her eyes. Lin Xian's scalp also went numb. Countless golden talismans condensed in his eyes, and a pair of golden eyes appeared behind him. It was like the eyes of a god. It floated there, but in the next moment, that terrifying feeling disappeared. He exclaimed. Who the hell was it? What a powerful eye technique. It was the first time he had felt such a terrifying bronze statue. Not only him, but the other sacred lands also felt it. Far away in southern border, Saint King Wushuang of the 100,000 mountains was the same. He also sucked in a breath of cold air. He didn't expect such a strange thing to happen after the Reincarnation Valley closed. In the land of death, Saint King Yanling revealed a sneer because his heavenly eye had already reflected Saint King Wushuang's phantom. You're in southern border. Do you think I can't kill you after running so far? Today is the day you die. In the next moment, countless arrays appeared under his feet. The power of space tore apart and enveloped his figure, causing him to disappear. At the same time, in the 100,000 mountains of southern border, the void shattered, and a figure appeared. Then, a terrifying rock hand slapped down from the sky. At the same time, the earth shook, and a rock giant appeared as if it was going to overturn the entire earth. Oh no, what happened? In the 100,000 mountains, Fu Hongye and Linghu Chueshua were both stunned. Saint King Wushuang felt a familiar aura. He roared angrily, "Run!" As he spoke, he unleashed an extremely terrifying devouring vortex. It shrouded Fu Hongye and her brother. In the next moment, he let out a furious roar and charged toward the sky. The place where he had been standing was now in ruins. The rock giant had turned that place into nothingness. You can't escape. Today is the day you die. The ancient voice in the sky carried boundless power as it swept out in all directions. Then, he charged towards Peerless Sage King. As for the stone giants that emerged from the ground, they began to sweep through their surroundings and chase after Linghu Chueshua and Fu Hongye. Naturally, the two of them were no match for him. They could only activate the devouring law and flee quickly. However, the stone giant's strength was beyond their imagination. Therefore, they were stopped in an instant. A single strike had caused cracks to appear. The two of them also vomited blood, their faces filled with despair. Damn it, am I going to die here? I wonder who did it. Was this the mortal world? Wang. At this moment, a law shrouded the both of them before ripping the void apart. Then, a palm that resembled the hand of heaven slammed down and collided with the stone giant. The stone giant was torn apart by the palm strike. Were they saved? Linghu Chueshua and Fu Hongye cried out in alarm. It was most likely a Sage King. In the next moment, they saw the heavenly fragrance pavilion Sage King appear there. The two of them hurriedly bowed. Greetings, Senior. Thank you, Senior, for your help. The heavenly fragrance pavilion Sage King nodded. However, his gaze was looking into the distance, piercing through everything. Senior, please help. My master is in danger. The two of them grew nervous again. Evidently, a top-notch expert was attacking Peerless Sage King. There was no need for that. Someone had already rushed over. Sensing that aura, the heavenly fragrance pavilion Sage King said, I'll send you two back to the sanctuary first. After saying that, she brought Linghu Chueshua with her and disappeared. On the other side, a figure was flying in the direction of Nanjiang. He was He Shan. He was originally here too. He did not expect that something like this would happen. It seemed that he had gone to help Peerless Sage King. They returned to the sanctuary. At this moment, the sanctuary was also astonished. Lin Xian had also returned with Yu Ruo and the others. When they saw Linghu Chueshua and Fu Hongye injured, they all frowned. What was going on? Linghu Chueshua told them what had happened. Lin Xian was also nervous. Was Peerless Sage King being hunted down? Who was it? An ordinary Sage King would not be suitable. Damn it. It seemed that it was an extremely terrifying expert of the older generation. In an instant, he thought of the mortal world. This time, was the mortal world going to be destroyed one by one? Should he summon the Sage Kings? Lin Xian asked. Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion Sage King said that his friend had already gone. I think it should be fine. Is He Shan here? Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. If He Shan was here, it should not be a problem. After waiting for a day, two figures returned. They were He Shan and Peerless Sage King. However, Peerless Sage King was not in a good condition. It was obvious that he was severely injured. Who was the one who attacked him? Peerless Sage King said that he would not die. However, it was really dangerous this time. If it was not for Daoist He Shan, I might not have made it back. He Shan also looked at Lin Xian. He said that it was Sage King Yanling, damn it. It was that old thing. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a terrifying light. Back then, he should have killed the other party together with the deity Dao Union. However, He Shan said that although they destroyed the primordial grotto, the other party had the primordial ancient mine behind them. That was an extremely terrifying existence. Naturally, Lin Xian also knew about this. Most likely, there was an extraordinary individual sleeping in there. However, it was not certain whether they could wake up. What should they do? Now, the mortal world did not attack together. Instead, they hid in the dark and assassinated from time to time. This made them very uneasy. Lin Xian walked over and used the wood elemental laws to treat Peerless Sage King's injuries. However, his brows were tightly knitted together. No, let's go to the Jade Pool first. The group headed to the Jade Pool to treat their injuries. The people from the Jade Pool also heard about it and frowned. Kunlun Sage King said, "Damn it. It seems that we have to go to the Reincarnation Valley again. I'm afraid that the Reincarnation Valley will not open again." Heavenly Fragrant Sage King frowned. There are so many of us. Can't we defeat that Reincarnation Protector? If we can't, we can just attack. That fellow is very strong. Sage King Yanling is terrifying. He might be a late-stage Sage King. Even if we work together, we might not be able to defeat him. Late-stage Sage King. When these Sage Kings heard this, their expressions changed. Most of them were early-stage Sage Kings. The difference between them and a late-stage Sage King was too great. Chapter 44:15. All of a sudden, everyone was shocked again. Lin Xian's heavenly secret divine eyes appeared behind him as he looked into the sky. The other Sage Kings also looked up. Damn it. Did Sage King Yanling attack again? What did he use? How can he sense where we are so clearly? The Jade Lake sacred leader said that it should be the Heaven's Eye. They wondered who he was going to attack this time. In the sky, Sage King Yanling's expression was extremely ugly. He had already severely injured unparalleled Sage King, but he did not expect the black-robed man to come and rescue him. To be honest, he was very afraid of the black-robed man. The black-robed man appeared and disappeared mysteriously, and he used some tricks that made his hair stand on end. He felt like he was facing the Reincarnation Guardian when he faced the black-robed man. Therefore, he did not continue to chase after him. However, he also knew that unparalleled Sage King could not recover. He had used some terrifying tricks. When he went to the Primordium Ancient Mine, not only did he take out the Primordium token, but he also obtained the Heaven's Eye. At the same time, he also obtained something else. The Poison of Despair. This poison was even more powerful than the Great Sage Corpse Poison, because it was formed from 10 different types of Great Sage Corpse Poison, and it could make anyone despair. Therefore, unparalleled Sage King was definitely going to die. Even if he could not kill him personally, unparalleled Sage King could not survive after being poisoned by the Poison of Despair. Next, he immediately began to look for the others. He immediately thought of Lin Xian. Now that unparalleled Sage King was dead, he wanted to kill Lin Xian. However, when he used the Heaven's Eye to see that Lin Xian and the others were all together, and they were all at the Jade Lake, he frowned. With so many Sage Kings together, it was not convenient for him to attack. Moreover, they were at the Jade Lake, so he had to hurry up and attack. He had to kill them before the others arrived at the Jade Lake. He looked around and saw two people. One was Wuji Sage King, and the other was Shueiyue Sage King. Shueiyue Sage King was the weakest and could be killed in one move, so Sage King Yanling was prepared to attack him. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others were also very anxious. They discussed and decided to summon the others to the Jade Lake. Otherwise, it would be very dangerous. After all, with so many of them gathered together, the other party probably wouldn't dare to make a move. Another thing was that the Jade Lake had an extreme weapon that could suppress everything. After receiving the news, Wuji Saint King and Bua Saint King were rushing over. However, the distance was still quite far. Furthermore, I'm guessing that Spirit Saint King Yanling has already found the two of them. Everyone's eyes lit up when they heard the Jade Lake sacred leader's words. Lin Xian said. From the looks of it, he should be there to help. How about this, the three Saint Kings will go and receive the Wuji Saint King. Hey Shan, you go and receive the Bua Saint King. I feel that he will most likely attack the Bua Saint King. After all, the Bua Saint King had been injured before and was not in peak condition. It was easy for others to target her. Black Mountain nodded. At this moment, a roar could be heard from the Jade Pool. It was Peerless Saint King. Murong Qingqing and the others also flew over and said anxiously. Not good, the Peerless Saint King seemed to have been poisoned again. Was he poisoned again? Everyone was shocked. Lin Xian's expression changed even more. He said, everyone, hurry up and act. I'll take care of senior brother here. The other Saint Kings nodded. The three great sage Saint Kings joined forces and prepared to receive the Wuji Saint King. He Shan's figure also disappeared in a flash. Lin Xian, Murong Qingqing and the others walked in. Soon, they arrived at the front. The Peerless Saint King was in the Jade Pool holy water. At this moment, his injuries had already stabilized. He only needed time to recover. However, at this moment, a black aura appeared on his body. It spread rapidly and was even more terrifying than the great sage corpse poison. Lin Xian immediately rushed over. Senior brother, how are you? As he spoke, he used the great dragon sword soul to help the other party get rid of it. However, he soon realized that the situation was much worse than he had imagined. The poison this time was much more terrifying than the great sage corpse poison. The dark red divine dragon came over to check and also exclaimed. Damn, this is. Do you know what this is? Lin Xian asked. The dark red divine dragon said that it had heard of a legend that 10 types of great sage corpse poison were combined to form a poison called the poison of despair. It could make everyone despair because there was no chance of recovery. Perhaps this was the poison of despair. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. They could not even withstand one great sage corpse poison, let alone 10. Damn it, where did this sacred King Yanling get this from? It must be from the Primordium ancient mine. There were countless strange stones in there, many of which were passed down from the ancient times. Damn it. Lin Xian's face was cold. He activated the great dragon sword soul and released countless dragon-shaped sword chi. He said, Senior brother, don't worry. Although I can't fully unleash the power of the great dragon sword soul, I can get rid of it for you. The Peerless Saint King opened his eyes. He naturally felt the power of the poison of despair. He turned to the Jade Pool sacred leader and said, Fellow cultivator, can you give me an extreme power? The Jade Pool sacred leader's face changed. It's too dangerous. You can't take it. The Peerless Saint King said, I can only give it a try. Otherwise, I won't be able to take it. There was another possibility. If all the sacred kings worked together and gave their power to the great dragon Sword Soul, they might be able to suppress it. However, there were not many sacred kings around now. The peerless Saint King might not be able to wait until all the sacred kings returned. Hence, he decided to take the risk. The Jade Pool sacred leader also left. It seemed like she wanted to work with the other elders to activate the ancient desolate tower again. Not long after, the ancient desolate tower emitted an extreme power aura. Everyone felt their hair stand on end. They might not be able to take it if it landed. An extreme power appeared and shrouded the peerless Saint King. The peerless Saint King used the law of devour to send this power into his body. In the next moment, he roared into the sky. His black hair fluttered in the wind and the endless void shattered. Cracks appeared on his body and blood flowed out. It was a terrifying sight. It was too terrifying. The extreme power was really terrifying. On the other side, the Jade Pool sacred leader and the others had also arrived. They were also watching anxiously. This was because they had used up a lot of energy to activate the ancient desolate tower. If he couldn't succeed, there would be no other way. Lin Xian was even more nervous. He hoped that the peerless Saint King could survive. More and more cracks appeared on the peerless Saint King's body. In the end, they completely split open and formed a devouring vortex. Finally, the blood mist in the sky condensed again. The peerless Saint King appeared in front of everyone. His face was pale, but he still said, "I almost died. But at least I was lucky." Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. Chapter 44:16. Peerless Sage King shook his head. "No, I used my extreme Tao to suppress it. However, it is very troublesome to completely eliminate it. It is impossible to do so in a short period of time. Everyone, please search for it." A novel. Fortunately, there is no danger to our lives for now. Too hateful. If the reincarnation valley had not been closed, we would have left long ago and would not be in such a passive situation. A great elder of the Jade Lake walked over and said, "In fact, the world is much more terrifying than you think. Furthermore, with the primordial ancient mine, it is expected that the reincarnation protector would stand on Sage King Yanling's side. However, they did not expect that he would be so ruthless and directly close the valley. What kind of existence is the buried Emperor Star?" Even Murong Qingqing and the others were very puzzled. The Grand Elder's eyes flickered. He said that the buried Emperor Star is similar to the true spirit world. It has countless ancient inheritances and mysterious families. It also has many places of death. However, it is different from the true spirit world. Great emperors are buried there. Great emperors are buried there. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. It seems that the buried Emperor Star's name is not randomly given. There really are great emperors buried there. The Grand Elder shook his head. Almost all of the great emperors are buried there. Many of them had come from the true spirit world. This is the beginning and that is the end. After a while, a sage king descended from the distance. It turns out that the people who went out to receive them have returned. Limitless Sage King safely returned. Not long after, Black Mountain and Closed Moon Sage King also returned. At the same time, their disciples also returned. They are all qualified to enter the buried Emperor Star. After they arrived, they all let out a sigh of relief. Great, it seems that Sage King Yanling did not have the chance to make a move. However, Closed Moon Sage King frowned. Although we are safe now, it is not a good idea to stay here for such a long time. We cannot stay here for the rest of our lives. Indeed, the others also nodded. What should we do? We must quickly open the Reincarnation Valley and let our people in. Let's go to the buried Emperor Star. Indeed, this is the most important thing right now. However, at this moment, 7-star Sage King coldly said, "Is it safe to enter the buried Emperor Star? Don't forget how we poisoned the ancient primordial grotto banquet." When he said this, the others' expressions changed. They clearly remembered the reason why they were poisoned. They were the people who returned from the buried Emperor Star. It was said to be the antidote, but in the end, it framed them. What exactly happened for those people to betray them? The Supreme Elder of the Jade Lake Sacred Ground said. It had been said before that the world of men was very terrifying. Even on the buried Emperor Star, they were terrifying existences. Most likely, those who went in had already joined the human world. That's why he attacked us. Then, would the new person be subdued by the human world as well? This was something that no one knew. At this moment, Peerless Saint King also walked out, his face pale. Obviously, his injuries had not healed yet. However, at this moment, his eyes were indeed emitting a biting cold light. He said that rather than this, it would be better for all of them to go to the buried Emperor Star. I want to see who it is that dares to attack us. Are we all going? Those Saint Kings were also stunned. To be honest, they also had the same thought. However, they knew that the buried Emperor Star was even more terrifying. Once they entered, they would no longer be invincible existences. Perhaps there would be someone even more terrifying than them, such as the Great Sage or even the Great Sage. At that time, their status and identity would definitely change. How could these Saint Kings, who had been used to ruling the world for thousands of years, endure this? Peerless Saint King said, "I will not force you. Those who are willing to stay can stay here. As for those who want to go, we will gather together." After a discussion, a portion of them prepared to go together, while the rest stayed behind. Of course, whether these people went or not, they all wanted to kill Saint King Yanling. After all, there was such a terrifying expert of the older generation who could lock onto their position and attack them at any time. They were afraid that they would be in great danger in the future. Let's go. These people soared into the sky and once again headed towards the Reincarnation Valley. They arrived there and stood in the void. The Kunlun Saint Sovereign's cold voice rang out, "Reincarnation Protector, please come out." In the Reincarnation Valley, the Reincarnation Protector opened his eyes and frowned. These people actually came here directly, and there were so many of them. What? Were they trying to scare him with such a scene? How laughable. It seemed that these people were pitifully stupid. Beside him was an old man. It was Saint King Yanling. He said, "It seems that these people can't wait any longer. However, they actually dared to attack you. I think they really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Let's go and see if they have the right to be arrogant in front of me." The Reincarnation Protector walked out. Saint King Yanling followed behind him and sneered. Outside in the Void Palace, everyone waited patiently. This time, they had all made a decision. They must open the Reincarnation Valley. Suddenly, the ground cracked open, and a terrifying rock hand instantly grabbed at Lin Xian. It seemed that it wanted to crush Lin Xian. Lin Xian's pupils shrank, and he used the Great Sage Pagoda to block it. With a clang, he was forced back. However, he roared and used the dragon-shaped sword Qi to slash forward. It also blocked the giant stone hand. At the same time, Black Mountain slapped out a black palm and directly tore the rock hand into pieces. At the same time, his gaze pierced through the front. The surrounding Saint Kings also changed their expressions. Did someone attack again? And by the looks of it, it must be Saint King Yanling. This guy was also in the Reincarnation Valley. They all turned their gazes to the front. In the next moment, they saw two figures walk out. It was the Reincarnation Protector and Saint King Yanling. Kid, you're really lucky. You didn't die even after that. Saint King Yanling's eyes were filled with killing intent. Lin Xian scoffed coldly. Old thing, one day, I will personally deal with you. How dare you? The Reincarnation Protector roared, and a terrifying aura swept out in all directions. Lin Xian felt as if his soul was about to split open. He roared, and his eyes shone with an incomparable golden light. The great dragon sword soul in his body roared, and the dragon's breathing technique was also activated to block it. Not only that, Saint King Wushuang even used the devouring law. The Kunlun Saint King had to use Kunlun Mountain to block the roar. In the next moment, they looked forward with a hint of fear in their eyes. The Reincarnation Protector was indeed strong. Chapter 44:17. You're just a sacred venerate. What right do you have to speak here? The Reincarnation Guardian's cold voice rang out. He then looked at Peerless Sacred King. Even if he's your junior, you can't be so unruly. Are you going to do it, or should I? Peerless Sacred King snorted coldly. He said, my junior did not do anything wrong. It was Spirit Sage King Yen who wanted to kill him. What's wrong with my junior saying a few words? I don't think my junior is in the wrong. Or is it that the Reincarnation Guardian is already on Spirit Sage King Yan's side? If that's the case, I have nothing to say. We can only fight. You dare to challenge me? The Reincarnation Guardian took a step forward. A terrifying aura filled the air as if it was going to sweep everything away. His power was too terrifying. The moment he appeared, the surrounding sacred kings felt their scalps go numb. Even Peerless Saint King furrowed his brows. However, he did not retreat. Instead, he said, so what if I challenge you? You've already meddled in too many things. As the Reincarnation Guardian, your purpose is to protect the Reincarnation Valley. You can't meddle in other things. But now that you've broken the rules, you can't blame us. That's right. Kunlun Sacred King and Wuji Sacred King walked over. The surrounding sacred kings also stood up. They said, open the Reincarnation Mountain and let us pass safely. We won't attack you. Otherwise, don't blame us for joining forces. Joining forces? You? The Reincarnation Guardian laughed out loud. His eyes were filled with disdain. His aura continued to spread, piercing through the air and sweeping everything away. He then said, even if you join forces, you're still no match for me. With that, he struck out with his palm. A terrifying light swept across the land. This power was really too strong. Those Saint Kings felt their bodies tremble. They then roared and retreated quickly. They frantically retreated to avoid the attack. Peerless Sacred King and Lin Xian's eyes narrowed. They realized that the attack was directed at them. Lin Xian snorted. He used the Great Sage Pagoda to envelop the two of them. At the same time, Peerless Sacred King roared. He waved his unparalleled sword and slashed towards the sky. From the looks of it, he was not holding back at all and was planning to go all out. With a slash of the sword, a terrifying sword light split the world apart. Not even a world could withstand it. The two collided, and Peerless Holy King was sent flying. Fortunately, with the protection of the Great Sage Pagoda, he didn't suffer much damage. However, the surrounding people were all stunned. Even Peerless Saint King's full-powered attack could not block the Reincarnation Protector's casual attack. The gap between the two sides was really too big. I've already said that you're no match for me. You don't have the qualifications to challenge me. The reincarnation protector stood there with his hands clasped behind his back. His eyes were filled with disdain. Then, he stared at Lin Xian. "Brat, I didn't expect you to have so many treasures on you. I've seen this saint item. Hand it over obediently." Lin Xian's expression was also ice-cold. He gritted his teeth and said, You don't have the right to take things from me. Do you think you can fight against me now that you are a holy venerate and can sweep through the world? Even your senior brother can't do it, let alone you." With that, the reincarnation protector's eyes suddenly emitted a terrifying light. He looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt his body tremble. His soul was about to be torn apart. Then, a terrifying aura appeared around him. It was as if it was going to pull him into the land of reincarnation. What a terrifying power! Was this an eye technique? Lin Xian was stunned. He roared and activated his heavenly secret divine eyes. Then, countless golden talismans covered the surroundings. At the same time, the great dragon sword soul roared and slashed at the void. In the next moment, he quickly retreated. Cold sweat poured down his body. It was too terrifying. The other party's gaze almost killed him. No wonder all the Saint Kings were afraid of the reincarnation protector. The surrounding Saint Kings were also stunned. Especially Saint King Yanling. His pupils shrank. Was the other party not dead? It was unbelievable. The reincarnation protector controlled a trace of the power of reincarnation. He looked around and saw that no one in the 6 paths of reincarnation could survive. Logically speaking, the other party should have turned into dust. But the other party was still alive. Even the reincarnation protector's face darkened. "You're the first one to survive my glare. Right now, I'm very interested in what secrets you have." The reincarnation protector's eyes shone brightly. It seemed that he wanted to attack again. But at this time, Saint King Wushuang attacked. Terrifying sword Qi swung. The reincarnation protector stretched out a palm and swept it in all directions. "It's useless. Wushuang, you are no match for me. The devouring law is useless against me." The devouring law in the sky wanted to devour him, but his gaze shattered everything. Buzz! The Kunlun Saint King roared. Kunlun Mountain formed and fell from the sky. The terrifying power caused the entire void to collapse. The 9 heavens and 10 lands were cracking. However, the reincarnation protector's palm broke the Kunlun Mountain into pieces. The Kunlun Saint King also retreated. His face became extremely pale. The surrounding people were shocked. They all attacked and realized that they could not hurt the other party at all. "Like I said, you ants aren't my match at all. You don't know what I mean to you. Not only do I control the reincarnation valley, but I also control the reincarnation of this world. If I want you to die, you will die. If I want you to live, you will live." The power of reincarnation was too terrifying. Everyone felt despair. Although they were Saint Kings and could defeat everything at this moment, their faces were filled with despair. However, at this moment, one of them sneered. "You control reincarnation. What a joke. Who do you think you are? How dare you say that you control reincarnation? You only borrowed a little power from the reincarnation valley. How dare you be so arrogant here? What a joke. Who was it? Did they want to die?" The reincarnation protector was instantly furious. Who dared to challenge him like this? His gaze swept across and quickly locked onto a figure. Then, he frowned. He saw a man in a black robe in front of him. His face was covered, so he could not see who it was. Saint King Yanling also frowned. He said, "This is a new Saint King. But I feel that he is very mysterious. He must have a secret. No matter what secret he has, if he dares to challenge me, I will send him to hell." As he said that, the reincarnation protector attacked again. "How dare you underestimate my reincarnation power? I will let you experience it for yourself." His eyes shone with a shocking light. Then, he flew forward. This power was too terrifying. It carried an extremely strong law that could sweep through everything. No one could resist it. However, Black Mountain sneered. He formed a seal with his palms. The ground around him shattered. Countless spirit veins were under his control, forming a peerless array. Then, it turned into a blade of light and descended from the sky. Boom! Boom! Earth-shattering sounds rang out. The terrifying power tore everything apart. The reincarnation protector was stunned. He could control the Earth's spirit veins. It seemed that he was also a powerful array master. But so what? In the face of absolute power, it was useless. Chapter 44:18. Boom! Shan formed a large black seal that descended from the sky and attacked his opponent. The battle between the two shocked everyone. They realized that Shan was able to block the reincarnation protector's attack. This guy had just become a sage king. How could he fight against the reincarnation protector? How did he do it? The reincarnation protector frowned. Logically speaking, the opponent's aura was too weak. He should be able to kill such a person instantly. However, he realized that he couldn't do it now. Because every attack from the opponent hit the weakness of his power and law. In other words, the opponent was suppressing him. Could it be a coincidence? No one knew his weakness. Your heavenly spirit technique isn't that good. It's too weak. Shan sneered. The reincarnation protector's pupils constricted. He roared crazily. Damn it, who are you? Who are you? He was really shocked. The heavenly spirit technique was a martial art that he cultivated. No one knew, not even Sage King Yanling. In this world, only he knew. But how did the opponent know? Could it be that the opponent came from the buried Emperor Star? But that shouldn't be. He thought about it and didn't know the opponent. However, Shan didn't say anything and continued to control the black seal. He continued to attack. The reincarnation protector was completely gloomy. He said, "Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." He formed a seal with his palms and a ray of reincarnation light shot out from his eyes. Boom! The black seal was sent flying. Then, the ray of light pierced through Shan. Not good. Lin Xian's pupils constricted. The other sage kings also cried out in alarm. Could it be that such a powerful person couldn't block it? Then who was his opponent? Shan's body turned into green smoke and disappeared. He then reappeared on the other side. Reincarnation light. If I was at my peak, I could kill you with a slap. Although Shan had recovered, he was only a sage king. He couldn't use some great divine abilities. The reincarnation protector sneered. Who am I? So this is all you have? No matter who you are. You're no match for me. Then let's fight together. Peerless Saint King snorted coldly. The other Saint Kings also stood out. The reincarnation protector laughed out loud. Since you want to die, I'll send you on your way. The great battle shook the heavens and the earth. The surrounding young disciples were in despair. This was because they realized that even with so many Saint Kings attacking together, they were still no match for the reincarnation protector. The other party was really too powerful. Not only did he have the strength of a late-stage Saint King, but he also had the strength of a late-stage Saint King. Furthermore, he possessed the light of reincarnation. Once that light was unleashed, no one could block it. Lin Xian was also shocked, not only because of the strength of the Samsara protector. Was it because of the light of reincarnation? When the first reincarnation light shot out, his Tianji God eyes started to change. An extremely terrifying aura was vibrating. His heavenly secret God eyes seemed to be summoned by something. This surprised him. He thought that something had happened to his heavenly secret divine eyes and that he was injured. However, he later discovered that this wasn't the case. Only when the light of reincarnation appeared would the heavenly fate divine eyes undergo such a change. Could it be that the heavenly secret divine eyes had something to do with samsara time? He said, "Senior brother, can you help me devour a trace of the light of reincarnation?" "What are you trying to do?" Lin Xian explained the changes that had occurred to him. Unparalleled Saint King was also shocked. "All right, but you have to be careful. The light of reincarnation is too terrifying. If you are injured, you will immediately enter the cycle of reincarnation. At that time, even I won't be able to save you." Lin Xian said, "I know. I will be careful." Then, everyone attacked together. The Samsara protector shot out another light of reincarnation. Everyone tried their best to block it. At this time, the law of devour formed a vortex and swallowed some of the light of reincarnation. "It's useless. Your law of devour has no effect on my light of reincarnation." The Samsara protector sneered. However, in the next moment, he was stunned. This was because he realized that the light of reincarnation was attacking Lin Xian. Moreover, Lin Xian's eyes suddenly emitted a cold light and absorbed the Samsara protector's light of devour. What was going on? Everyone was stunned. Was Lin Xian courting death? The Samsara protector sneered. It seemed like he didn't have to do anything. This kid was dead meat. Lin Xian felt a huge impact. It was as if he couldn't hear anything. This was because he felt a strange change. His eyes weren't damaged because of it. Instead, they absorbed the energy of the light of reincarnation. At this moment, it was gradually becoming stronger. "Boss. Junior brother, are you alright?" Unparalleled Saint King was also very nervous. However, in the next moment, Lin Xian's eyes regained their light. He said, "I'm fine." How could this be? The Samsara protector was stunned. The surrounding people were also stunned. They knew very well how frightening the light of reincarnation was. Even with so many of them working together, they still couldn't withstand it. However, Lin Xian was actually fine. What was going on? Damn it. The Samsara protector stared at Lin Xian. He desperately wanted to capture Lin Xian. Unparalleled Saint King said and attacked together. They charged towards the Samsara protector. At the same time, Spirit Saint King said, "Don't worry, I'll capture this person for you." His body flickered as he charged toward Lin Xian. "Damn it, how dare you!" The surrounding people roared. They couldn't even fight against one of the reincarnation protectors, let alone Spirit Saint King Yen. He was also a veteran Saint King. Boom! An earth-shattering sound rang out. The void shattered and a figure appeared. It was Immortal Scholar. As soon as he appeared, he shot out a sky full of ice and swept forward. He blocked Spirit Saint King's path. That was great. Unparalleled Saint King and the others heaved a sigh of relief. On the other hand, Spirit Saint King's face was cold. Boom! A layer of armor appeared on his body. At the same time, he took out a giant stone hammer. The hammer carried a terrifying power. With one blow, the sky fell and the earth cracked. Even the ice in the sky was broken. One could imagine how terrifying this attack was. Kill! Scholar Immortal roared and quickly rushed out to kill. The battle in front of them erupted again. They charged towards the 9 heavens. Lin Xian and the others quickly retreated and landed on the ground. Their faces became solemn. They didn't know what the result of this attack would be. Although there were only 2 people on the other side this time, it was better than anything. While Lin Xian and the others were nervously watching, a few figures quickly flew over from the distance. It was Jingyun and the other geniuses of the buried Emperor Star. These people should be coming. Jingyun looked down. When he saw Lin Xian, he immediately laughed. Little brother, I guessed right. He's here. He wants to enter the buried Emperor Star from here. Jinka also looked down and sneered. There was no chance for them to do so. Today was the day he died. He would never be able to enter in his lifetime. As he spoke, he roared and increased his speed. Lin Xian and the others could feel the aura coming from afar and they all turned their heads. Were the people of the mortal world here? Soon, they discovered that they weren't. Because they weren't saint kings. Although their auras were powerful, they were only saint sovereigns. One of them was even more terrifying than a saint sovereign. Chapter 44:19. It's them. Yu Ruo looked over and instantly frowned. They discovered that those people were from the buried Emperor Star. Jingyun sneered. Brat, let's see how you're going to escape. Since you dared to treat me like that, I'll pay you back 10,000 times. Today, I'll make you wish you were dead. Lin Xian was originally very anxious. He didn't know how the Sage King battle was going. Now that he saw Jingyun, he immediately frowned and said, Scram. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die without a burial ground. Don't think that I won't dare to kill you just because you're from the buried Emperor Star. Are you courting death? Jingyun roared. Little brother, kill him. Jinka also walked over. You're Lin Xian, right? You're really arrogant. However, if you kneel down and kowtow to my big brother, I'll give you a quick death. Who do you think you are? Lin Xian frowned. Then, he looked at Jingyun. You can't beat me, so you're calling me little brother. Do you have any shame? My little brother is stronger than me. He's already a half-step Sage King. You're definitely not his match. Brat, you've already lost your last chance. Is that so? Lin Xian sneered. The 2 of you dared to come here. It seems that you don't know the difference between life and death. Jingyun said, so what if there are so many people? Do they dare to attack me? I'm from the buried Emperor Star. Whoever dares to attack me is an enemy of the buried Emperor Star. Can you bear it? Shocking clouds roared in all directions. Sure enough, the surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. Lin Xian sneered. There's no need for these people to deal with you 2 trash. I can kill you 2 by myself. He was also angry. Since they were courting death, he'll fulfill their wish. Brat, your opponent is me. After saying that, Jinka walked over and stared at Lin Xian. He's really despicable. Are all the people from the buried Emperor Star like this? He's clearly a half-step Sage King, but he dares to attack a Sage Venerable. Even if you win, do you feel proud? Fu Hongye coldly snorted. My cultivation is higher than his, so I can naturally suppress him. If you're not convinced, come and kill me. Jingku looked like she was asking for a beating, but no one dared to make a move. That was because the other party's cultivation was simply too strong, far surpassing theirs. Lin Xian said, "Hongye, don't worry. Leave this guy to me. However, I am not used to seeing him use his power to bully others. Thus, I want him to have a taste of what it feels like to bully others. All of you, attack Jingyun together. I don't believe that no matter how strong he is, he can withstand it." The eyes of Fu Hongye and the others lit up when they heard that. With regards to Lin Xian's strength, naturally, they were not worried at all. Therefore, 8 people from Peerless City walked over and stared at Jingyun. "I heard that you're a peerless genius, yet you still dare to sweep through everything. Fight the 8 of us today. Let's see how strong you are." As soon as he said this, Jingyun's expression instantly turned ugly. Jinka roared as well. "You dare to touch my brother? Try it. I'll send all of you to hell." Lin Xian smiled. "Your enemy is me, so you don't have the right to care about other things." "Damn it!" Jingyun roared. "You're despicable. You're bullying me with numbers. We're bullying you with numbers. If you're unhappy, come and bite us." Guan Shaoxian also snorted coldly. "You're allowed to call us a half-step holy king, but you're not allowed to let us gang up on you. Everyone, attack together." With a roar, these strong cultivators instantly rushed over and fought Jingyun. No matter how strong Jingyun was, he could not withstand the attacks of 8 strong cultivators at the same time. Instantly, he let out a roar. His body was cracked and blood flowed out. When Jinka saw this scene, he wanted to go back and help. However, Lin Xian struck out with his sword, cutting off the sky and earth, blocking his way. "Weren't you arrogant before and wanted to suppress me? I want to see how strong you are. Go to hell." Jinka roared angrily. The battle instantly broke out. As a half-step holy king, his strength was ridiculously strong, far surpassing that of a holy venerable. Therefore, with one strike, the sky fell and the earth cracked, causing the surrounding people's expressions to change. Lin Xian, on the other hand, let out a furious roar and unleashed his powerful divine body, sweeping out in all directions. At the same time, he activated his 10 ultimate swords, releasing light. He seemed to have turned into a peerless sword god, sweeping through everything. With one strike, he arrived in front of his opponent. The two collided, producing an earth-shattering sound. Jinka was originally disdainful, but when they really fought, he realized that his opponent was very strong. Although his opponent was only a holy venerable, his strength was not weaker than his at all. The sword chi was extremely sharp, causing him to be terrified. Furthermore, his opponent's body and strength had caused his arm to feel numb from the beating. Roar! With a roar, endless precepts appeared around him. He activated his bloodline power and swept out with tyrannical strength. A long saber appeared in his hand, and he kept attacking. Every strike landed on his divine body. Lin Xian's divine body was also trembling non-stop. One could imagine that his opponent was indeed a top-tier expert. However, Lin Xian became more and more courageous as he fought. He held his 10 ultimate swords and swept out. The two collided again. The surrounding people were shocked as they watched. However, at this time, Guan Sanghai said, "I'm very interested in the battle in the distance. So, everyone, I'll go over." After saying that, he joined Jingyun's battle. Qin Xiener also smiled. "Then I'll go too." In this way, there were 10 experts. Jingyun was originally unable to hold on. Now, he was even more miserable. Not only that, but the people from the 3 great dragon tribes also went over. Jingyun's body exploded several times. He wanted to escape, but he couldn't. There were experts everywhere, blocking his path. This was a kind of despair, something he had never experienced before in his life. He really couldn't imagine that these people would dare to be so bold. Could it be that they weren't afraid of the buried Emperor's star? How could he know that because the Reincarnation Valley was closed, it was unknown whether these people could go to the buried Emperor's star? Therefore, when they mentioned the buried Emperor's star, they naturally carried a shocking killing intent. At this moment, they released all of their killing intent on Jingyun. Jinke saw his brother being beaten up. He was so angry that he vomited blood. "You're courting death." His attack was blasted into the distance. However, it was blocked by Lin Xian's Taiji diagram. Boom! 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 10,000 sword lights all slashed on the opponent's body, sending him flying. His body was also shaking non-stop, and cracks had appeared on the armor that had appeared on his body. This caused him to be terrified. With a furious roar, he turned into a bolt of lightning and attacked unceasingly. The heavenly steel appeared in his palm, and when it opened and closed, it seemed capable of sweeping through everything. Lin Xian's sword chi was beaten until it became dim. However, at this moment, Lin Xian slapped out with his palm. The Man-Ruler Seal. This attack was really too powerful. Under this attack, the opponent's battle armor was directly shattered. Jinka vomited a large mouthful of blood. His body was directly penetrated. Then, Lin Xian used the mountain-embracing seal. A divine mountain appeared between heaven and earth. A terrifying aura swept through the 9 heavens. Chapter 44:20. The earth trembled, and a crazy roar sounded. Jingyun, who was in the distance, exploded again. However, when his soul looked forward, he was indeed stunned. Because he discovered that his younger brother was also suppressed. Damn it, how was this possible? His younger brother was a half-step holy king. How could he be suppressed by that brat? Could it be that countless geniuses and experts had joined hands as well? However, when he realized that Lin Xian was the only one who had done it, he was completely stunned. When the toad saw this scene, it laughed loudly. "Ha ha ha ha, this is your genius younger brother. Why do I feel that he's so trashy? I say, the people in your family are all trash. Damn it, are you courting death, Aunt?" Jinka was suppressed, and when he heard the toad's voice, he also roared crazily. When had he ever been mocked by such an ant? So he roared angrily, and countless terrifying runes appeared on his body, condensing into a long saber phantom. It surrounded his body. It actually blasted the divine mountain up. The toad was shocked. Damn it, he can still come out. Kid, hurry up and beat him up. Lin Xian also snorted coldly. You're not my match at all. Do you think that you can look down on everything just because you're a half-step holy king? You might be able to do it elsewhere, but not in front of me. Boz. Lin Xian used the invincible sword and directly sent it flying. Jinka had just gotten up, but he was instantly sent flying. Another crack appeared on his body. Damn it. Kill. He retreated and rushed to the back, wanting to save his brother. Then he left. However, at this moment, a figure blocked his path. Damn it, get lost. Seeing that it wasn't Lin Xian, Jinka also roared crazily. However, that man shot forth a punch. Are you courting death? Other than Lin Xian who surprised him, he didn't care about the others. So he also slashed out with his saber. However, in the next moment, he was once again in despair. Because he discovered that this person's fist was really too terrifying. It carried an incomparably terrifying aura. It directly pierced through his long saber. Boom! His body was blasted apart. The surrounding people were also stunned. Hair to the heavens. Even Lin Xian was surprised. In the end, a smile appeared on his face. This was because he realized that the one who had attacked was none other than Chao Tianxing. He had seen how mysterious Chao Tianxing was, so he knew that Chao Tianxing was very strong. As expected, the other party had severely injured a half-step Holy King the moment he attacked. How could this be? Jinka was completely dumbfounded. He could still accept the shock of being defeated by Lin Xian. After all, every world had a top genius who could defy the heavens. However, such a person was too rare. In fact, there might not even be one in a few thousand years. However, he did not expect that apart from Lin Xian, another person had appeared. He was severely injured with a single punch. Damn it, who are you? Who are you? Jingyun was also scared to tears. He roared crazily, Stop fighting, we admit defeat. What a joke. How could he have reached such a stage? If they continued to fight, the two of them would definitely die. Therefore, they let out a roar. After Linghu Chueshue and the others heard this, they stopped and sneered. You want to admit defeat now? What were you doing earlier? Fu Hongye slapped Jingyun's face and sent him flying. On the other side, Jinka gritted his teeth and said, Brother, let's go. As he spoke, he turned around and wanted to leave with Jingyun. However, Lin Xian smirked coldly. The Taiji diagram in the sky descended, blocking their path. You think you can come and go as you please? Do you think this is your family? Here, we have the final say. Who allowed you to leave? Come and die. The Tai Chi diagram sent down countless sword chi. The terrifying aura swept through everything. Jingyun and Jin Yun were forced back. When they came back, they gritted their teeth. Jinka said, We are from the Jing family. Do you dare to attack us? If you kill us, our family will send top experts here. None of you will be able to live then. So, stop fighting and let us leave. Is your family very powerful? If that's the case, we can get more powerful experts if we let you go back. Why don't we just kill you? The dark red divine dragon sneered. The toad also nodded and said, It would be a pity to kill them. Let's treat them as battle servants. Or refine them into puppets. I know a way to turn them into puppets. This way, we can use them in the future. This idea is not bad. Lin Xian also nodded. The others also sneered. The expressions of the Jingyun brothers changed, especially Jinke. He was furious. Do you want to die? How dare you be arrogant in front of me? Lin Xian sneered and formed a seal with his palm. The mountain-embracing seal descended again and suppressed the other party. The other party's body exploded once again. Everyone laughed. Was the buried Emperor Star very powerful? It was only so-so. However, at this moment, a light appeared in Jinka's eyes. His body suddenly split open. One of the figures instantly rushed out and left the mountain-embracing seal. Then, he charged forward. In the next moment, he arrived at a dragon. In front of him, a long saber in his hand enveloped the other party. Oh no, damn it, how dare you attack? The dark red divine dragon roared. Lin Xian's face also sank. A trace of biting cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. It seems that you really don't know what's good for you. Get lost, or I'll kill her. Jinka roared crazily. The person he shrouded was none other than Shinjingqiu. Therefore, Lin Xian and the others were very nervous. Lin Xian's killing intent was biting cold. How dare you attack my people? I'll let you know what it means to live a life worse than death. Brat, is this your person? Good, if you dare to touch me, I'll send you to hell. Now, kneel down obediently and break your own arms. I want you to kowtow to me. I want you to crawl under my feet. Jinka's sinister voice rang out. Everyone's expressions became ugly. They didn't expect that the other party would have such a secret technique that allowed them to escape when they were suppressed by the Divine Mountain. They even threatened Shinjingqiu. At this moment, Shinjingqiu snorted coldly. An extremely terrifying aura erupted from her eyes. A heaven and earth Dharma form appeared behind her. It was extremely mysterious. A monstrous power surged. Then, it directly sent Jinka flying with a palm strike. Jinka retreated in the air and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. His eyes were about to pop out. How could it be? He was defeated by a third person today. Damn it, how could there be so many terrifying experts in this world? The surrounding people were also stunned. Is Shinjingqiu also so powerful? She's simply too heaven-defying. What's the heaven and earth Dharma form behind her? Lin Xian's eyes shone with a sharp light. The crisis was gone. He was now in front of Jinka. He stepped on him and stomped him into the ground. Then, he shot out a dragon-shaped sword chi and pierced through Jinka's body, nailing him to the ground. Jinka roared crazily. Blood flowed out. He wanted to escape. However, the power of the great dragon sword soul was not something he could resist. Chapter 44-21. Jinka's previous actions had thoroughly angered Lin Xian. Lin Xian said coldly. Originally, I thought that I would give you a way out. However, you actually acted recklessly and attacked the people around me. Dragons have reverse scales and you have already touched my reverse scales. Therefore, you will definitely die today. Hearing this, the expressions of the surrounding people changed. Lin Xian is going to attack the people of the buried Emperor Star. Even Linghu Chueshua and the others had grave expressions. To be honest, they would not hesitate to heavily injure Jingyun. However, they did not dare to kill these two people. After all, they all had a trace of reverence and fear towards the buried Emperor Star. You dare! Jingyun roared crazily. Lin Xian sneered. Why would I not dare? After saying that, he slapped out with his palm. With a boom, Jinka's body was shattered. In the next moment, he used his heavenly secret divine eyes and pulled Jinka's soul into the Tao reincarnation. He made Jinka suffer for 10,000 years. Jingyun did the same. Finally, Lin Xian used the light of reincarnation and killed the two of them. The surrounding people were all stunned. They did not expect that Lin Xian would really kill these two people. These two brothers probably did not believe that the other party would dare to attack them even when they died. The reason why Lin Xian killed these two people was because he was completely enraged. Moreover, his final killing move was the light of reincarnation. The light of reincarnation was something he had absorbed from the reincarnation protectors. His heavenly secret divine eyes could actually fuse with the light of reincarnation. At this moment, he used the light of reincarnation to kill these people. Presumably, these families would not be able to detect him. After killing these two people, Lin Xian once again raised his head and looked at the sky. Jingyun and Jinka were nothing to be afraid of. The most important thing was the battle between the sacred kings. Because it concerned whether or not they could go to the buried Emperor Star. This kind of battle was going on in the outer realm. Terrifying power enveloped them. Lin Xian and the others were shocked. It had to be said that the two of them were really too strong. Especially that reincarnation protector. He was fighting a group of saint kings alone, and he was actually not at a disadvantage at all. The light of reincarnation was even more terrifying. Once it was unleashed, no one dared to resist and could only flee. There were only two people who could contend against the light of reincarnation. It was Black Mountain and Undying Scholar. He Shan had many tricks up his sleeve. Although he couldn't fight against the light of reincarnation, he wasn't afraid of it either. Immortal Scholar, on the other hand, could use Immortal Frost. Only the inextinguishable polar ice was able to resist the light of samsara. However, he could only resist for a short period of time. He wouldn't be able to contend against it for a long time. After all, reincarnation was too mysterious, and the light of reincarnation was even more terrifying. In the end, the reincarnation protector was completely infuriated. A bunch of reckless fools. Today, I'll send you on your way. As he roared, the sealed reincarnation valley once again appeared. Next, the reincarnation valley shone brightly and a pagoda appeared from within. 6 paths of reincarnation pagoda. A terrifying aura appeared. It released an unparalleled aura. Furthermore, it was connected to the reincarnation protector, allowing the reincarnation protector to control an even more powerful reincarnation power. Today, all of you will enter the reincarnation land. An illusion of the reincarnation pagoda appeared between heaven and earth. 6 extremely terrifying passageways seemed to swallow everything. Oh no! Shanghai Saint King's pupils constricted. His body was pierced by the light of reincarnation and instantly split open. In the next moment, he let out a terrified cry. On the other side, Luo Saint King's body was also shattered and turned into a bloody mist. Their faces became deathly pale. Boz. Seeing that these people were about to enter the reincarnation valley, Lin Xian's pupils also constricted. The surrounding people were even more shocked. Lin Xian unleashed the great dragon sword soul and flew into the sky. After the Saint Kings saw the Tao, they desperately activated and used their power. The great dragon sword soul released an unparalleled aura and slashed into the void. It slashed apart the reincarnation aura. Shanghai Saint King and Luo Saint King frantically retreated. They all heaved a sigh of relief. It was too terrifying. They had almost been sucked into the reincarnation land. Once they entered, they would probably die without a doubt even if they were Saint Kings. How could it be? It could actually block the 6 paths of reincarnation pagoda. Reincarnation was stunned as he looked at the dragon-shaped sword in the sky. On the other side, Spirit Saint King's pupils also constricted. Could it be that kind of thing in the legends? There were very few who could fight against the 6 paths of reincarnation. This sword shadow was clearly not a saint artifact, so it was even rarer. After thinking for a while, they thought of a legend. The Great Dragon Sword. The legendary offensive saint technique that could destroy everything. It was understandable that the reincarnation pagoda could be slashed apart. They didn't expect to see the legendary thing here. The reincarnation protector's eyes released an extremely cold light. Kid, looks like I have to kill you this time. It's a waste to leave this thing with you. Lin Xian snorted coldly and shot into the sky. Murong Qingqing and the others were also not worried. Although they should have the Great Sage Pagoda, would it be safe in the place where so many Saint Kings were fighting? They didn't know and weren't confident. Lin Xian came. He used the Great Sage Pagoda to protect his body. Everyone, let's attack together. He controlled the Great Dragon Sword Soul and also felt the pressure. However, this battle had to go on. At the same time, he had another thought. He was not afraid of the reincarnation light. Whether it was Black Mountain or Immortal Scholar, although they could fight against the reincarnation light, they couldn't. After all, they couldn't suppress the reincarnation light. However, Lin Xian was confident that he could do it. Therefore, this was also the reason why he came. "Ant, die for me." The reincarnation protector punched out, and Lin Xian felt a huge pressure. He used the great sage pagoda to block, but his divine body was still shattered. However, in the next moment, his body quickly healed. At the same time, he roared. If they didn't attack now, what were they waiting for? The other Saint Kings also took a deep breath. They were going to fight. These people attacked again. The 6 paths of reincarnation in the sky sealed the entire world and enveloped them. The terrifying power of reincarnation could threaten them at any time. As expected, even the Kunlun Saint King and Wushuang Saint King's bodies were shattered. They turned into a bloody mist. However, Lin Xian used the great dragon sword in time and destroyed the power of reincarnation. Only then did he save these people. These Saint Kings calmed down a little and attacked even more crazily. The reincarnation protector's face turned cold. Saint King Spirit Word's face was also ugly. His body had been shattered twice. Fortunately, the other party didn't kill him. This allowed him to survive. However, he was still shocked. He said that the kid could fight against the 6 paths of reincarnation. They had to kill him first, otherwise, they would lose their advantage. The reincarnation protector nodded. Naturally, he also knew this, so he attacked Lin Xian with all his strength. Lin Xian's divine body was shattered again. Even with the great sage pagoda, he still couldn't escape. Chapter 44-22. An ant is an ant. Even if you have the great dragon sword, you are still no match for me. The reincarnation protector revealed a cold smile. A person like you is not worthy of the great dragon sword. You have the cheek to say that. Lin Xian also laughed. You are a late-stage Saint King, and I am a Saint Venerable. How big is the gap between us? You haven't killed me yet. Do you have the cheek to say that? Aren't you able to kill a Saint King with a glance? Why can't you kill me? You are courting death. The reincarnation protector was stunned. Indeed, it was easy for him to kill a Saint King. Now, Lin Xian was still alive. This was a slap to his face. He did not plan to do this again. Therefore, he planned to gather and form the light of reincarnation to kill Lin Xian. 3 rays of light of reincarnation charged over. It was earth-shattering, sweeping through everything. Not good. The Kunlun Saint King, the Wuji Saint King, and the others were extremely nervous. Below, Murong Qingqing, Linghu Chueshue, and the others also held their breaths. As for Lin Xian, he snorted and opened his heavenly secret divine eyes. He did not dodge at all. In an instant, he absorbed the 3 rays of light of reincarnation into his vision. The void where Lin Xian was completely turned into nothingness. It completely swallowed his figure. When the surrounding people saw this scene, they did not know whether Lin Xian was dead or alive. The reincarnation protector sneered. If you can survive, then I. Before he finished speaking, he saw Lin Xian walk out from inside. How is this possible? The reincarnation protector was shocked. What is going on with these eyes? Why are they so mysterious? Lin Xian said, I will be responsible for blocking his light of reincarnation. All of you, attack. The battle broke out again. This time, Wu Yu finally lost his advantage. He was being attacked by so many Saint Kings. He roared crazily. There was also the Immortal Scholar and Black Mountain. Finally, he was injured and his body was penetrated. He was hit by dozens of laws and one of his arms was torn off. Blood flowed. He roared at the sky. The 6 paths of reincarnation in the sky kept surging. Lin Xian used the great dragon sword soul to block the attack. Then, he fused with the power of those Saint Kings. The sword slashed forward. The 6 paths of reincarnation were actually cleaved apart by him. The reincarnation protector was also split in half by the sword. This scene was really too shocking. Yanling Saint King was dumbfounded and stood there in a daze. The reincarnation protector also roared towards the sky. Damn it, you guys have thoroughly angered me. Even if I have to sacrifice 3,000 years of my lifespan, I will kill all of you today. After he finished speaking, the nomological laws around his body began to burn. It seemed like he was about to go all out. At the same time, the reincarnation pagoda flew out from the reincarnation valley and landed in his hand. Then, he charged forward. Not good. The expressions of those Saint Kings changed. This was a heaven-shaking treasure. If Lin Xian was a sage king, then controlling the great dragon sword would not be a problem. But now, Lin Xian was only a saint venerate. It was already very impressive that he could split open the 6 paths of reincarnation. However, he was probably no match for the reincarnation protector who was going all out. As expected, Lin Xian also suffered a huge blow. He had already used the great dragon sword soul and had reached his limit. If he used it again, his body would probably shatter. At this critical moment, a figure flew out from the void. It was an elder. The moment he appeared, he formed a heavenly sound and descended. 9 Tribulations Divine Melody. A terrifying aura filled the air. The terrifying nomological laws formed one after another special musical notes and blocked the terrifying reincarnation pagoda. What was going on? Yanling Saint King was horrified. The reincarnation protector's pupils constricted. He had already burned 3,000 years of his life and was prepared to fight to the death with the other party. To kill these Saint Kings. But now, he was actually being suppressed. Who was it? In the next moment, he suddenly looked up and saw an elder appear in the sky. It was him. The reincarnation protector exclaimed. Yanling Saint King was also stunned. He had seen this person before. Previously, he had seen this person at the primordial grotto grand meet. Peerless Saint King and the others took a deep breath. Lin Xian exclaimed. Elder Xia. That's right. The person who had come was Xia Jiuyo. When he arrived, an extremely cold light burst out from his eyes. Reincarnation Protector, you've crossed the line. How dare you teach me a lesson? Go to hell. The Reincarnation Protector roared. Today, everyone would be completely annihilated. He continued to burn his nomological laws and life. He activated the Reincarnation Pagoda and charged out. Everyone was worried for Xia Jiuyo. Even Lin Xian was no exception. However, Xia Jiuyo sighed. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. In the next moment, a cold light burst out from his eyes. Heaven and earth shook. An extremely terrifying aura appeared in front of him. An illusory figure appeared. It was a Guqin. With a mysterious aura, it appeared in front of Xia Jiuyo. Then, Xia Jiuyo gently played the Guqin. With a boom, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The Reincarnation Pagoda shattered into pieces. The Reincarnation Protector also exploded and turned into a bloody mist. Saint King Yanling also suffered from the impact and his body shattered. The surrounding people were stunned. Heavens, what did they just see? They had so many Saint Kings attacking together, but they couldn't hurt the Reincarnation Protector. Now, Xiao Jiuyo actually took care of it with a gentle move. This was really unbelievable. What kind of existence was this Xiao Jiuyo? Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He naturally knew that Xiao Jiuyo was very powerful. However, he was very worried about Xiao Jiuyo's lifespan. Because Xiao Jiuyo was already very old. On the other side, He Shan's eyes flickered. Could it be him? He thought of a person in the legends. In front of him, the bloody mist gathered under the reincarnation pagoda and formed the reincarnation protector again. At this moment, the reincarnation protector's face was filled with fear. He no longer had the arrogance from before. He stared at Xiao Jiuyo and said, "Who are you? Could it be that you are?" Just as he finished speaking, Xiao Jiuyo played another guqin sound. His body shattered again. Damn it! He was so frightened that he didn't dare to be arrogant anymore. Run! He brought Saint King Yanling and quickly fled downwards. He wanted to enter the reincarnation valley. In the end, Xiao Jiuyo cut off his path with the sound of the great Tao of heaven and earth. He could only escape to the other side. Saint King Yanling said, "Let's go to the Origin Ancient Mine. It's definitely safe there." The two of them fled into the distance. On the other side, Xiao Jiuyo snorted coldly. Want to leave? He strolled between heaven and earth and followed. It was the same for the other Saint Kings. Lin Xian and the other young disciples also followed. At this moment, everyone raised their heads and looked towards the sky. They felt two extremely powerful forces with the aura of reincarnation streaking across the sky. Behind them, there was an old man who was like a god strolling in the courtyard. Origin Ancient Mine. This was a land of death. No one dared to come. However, at this moment, Saint King Yanling had come. Not only that, the reincarnation protector had also come. After the two of them entered, Saint King Yanling's cold voice sounded. So what if you're strong? I don't believe you dare to come in. As expected. Xiao Jiuyo played two heavenly sounds, but they were blocked by the power inside. They couldn't enter the Origin Ancient Mine at all. Seeing this scene, Spirit Saint King Yanling laughed loudly. Chapter 44-23. Unparalleled Sacred King and the others walked over with a frown. What should they do? The aura of this place was extraordinary. Damn it, they had almost killed Sacred King Yanling and subdued the Reincarnation Protector. But now, the Reincarnation Protector had gone into hiding. There was nothing they could do. If they missed this opportunity, they would have to wait another 500 years for the buried Emperor Star's seal to open again. Thus, everyone was in despair. Lin Xian's expression was grave. Although he had the great dragon sword soul, it was impossible for him to conquer the Primordium Ancient Mine with his current strength. Thus, there was nothing he could do. He looked at He Shan. He Shan also shook his head. At that moment, Xiao Jiuyo coughed out a mouthful of blood. He sighed and said, "Let me do it." Then, he looked at the Jade Lake. He asked the Jade Lake sacred leader if he could borrow an imperial armament. The pupils of the Jade Lake Saint Master contracted when she heard this, and the surrounding people were stunned. What did he mean? He wanted to use the ancient desolate tower? Even Lin Xian was shocked. His great dragon sword soul was also powerful, but only he could use it. If Xiao Jiuyo wanted to use it, he would have to give the power to him. But he could not withstand so much power. It seemed that Xiao Jiuyo wanted to borrow an imperial armament. However, everyone was confused. Could Xiao Jiuyo use an imperial armament? One had to know that even a sacred ground would have to pay a great price to use an imperial armament. But Senior, your body, the Jade Lake sacred leader was also worried. Lin Xian also walked over and said, Senior, why don't we think of another way? However, Xia Jiuyo shook his head. I'm already old. It doesn't matter if I live a few more years. However, I want to help you with something before I die. This reincarnation protector was too arrogant. Also, did they really think that the Primordium Ancient Mine was invincible? Today, I'll let them know that no one can look down on others in this world. After saying that, he left with the Jade Lake sacred leader. Everyone was waiting anxiously. In the next instant, they felt a deep voice coming from the eastern wilderness. The sky of the eastern wilderness was completely shattered. An extremely terrifying aura spread out in all directions. At this moment, all the sacred grounds and family clans in the true spirit world raised their heads, their faces filled with fear. What kind of aura was that? How could it be so terrifying? Heavens, could it be that this is the aura of an extreme weapon? Was the dark battle from back then happening again? One had to know that extreme Dao weapons were generally capable of suppressing an entire region. He wouldn't use it. However, at that moment, someone was actually planning to use an extreme-grade weapon. Furthermore, it would appear that he was not only using the might of an extreme-grade weapon. He wanted to take away the extreme-grade weapon completely. Sure enough, people from the Gu and Yi families were equally shocked. Their extreme weapons also let out earth-shaking noises, as if they were responding. The eyes of the members of the Yi clan flickered. Naturally, they had also received the news. Were they going to attack the Origin Ancient Mine? The person sleeping inside was not ordinary at all. After thinking about it, the Yi clan decided not to make a move. On the other side, the eyes of the Gu family flickered. Gu Feng snorted coldly. Did these people really want to attack? An elder of the Gu family walked over and said in a deep voice. Feng you must not underestimate them. That Xia Jiuyo was an extremely terrifying figure. If it wasn't for the fact that he didn't have much lifespan left, he would definitely be able to sweep through everything. Now that he was going to consume his lifespan and use an extreme-grade weapon, would the people in the Origin Ancient Mine be able to withstand it? After Gu Feng heard that, he was also stunned. He was powerful, but the people in the Death Land should not be ordinary either. Could it be that they couldn't defeat Xia Jiuyo? At that moment, another elder also walked out. If he was really so terrifying, he would have long unified the world. There were also restrictions on them inside. Even their lifespan was not as long as they had imagined. Therefore, as for whether they could truly counterattack, it was still unknown. Let's wait and see. While everyone was discussing, Xia Jiuyo brought the desolate tower over. The heavens fell and the earth cracked. At that moment he once again became the only one between heaven and earth. In an instant, he arrived at the Origin Ancient Mine. The void and earth around the Origin Ancient Mine were constantly shattering. Only the land of death in front of them emitted a terrifying aura to resist the attack. At the same time, Spirit Saint King, who was in the Origin Ancient Mine, knelt on the ground in fear. The reincarnation protector beside him also used the reincarnation pagoda to resist with difficulty. However, he still couldn't resist it. In the next moment, he spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn it, an extreme-grade weapon. He could actually control an extreme-grade weapon. This really shocked him. Even the existences in the divine crystals began to shake. There was an elder who looked like a skeleton. At that moment, he opened his eyes. His gaze seemed to have turned into a peerless divine sword that pierced through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. What was going on? Why did it attract the aura of an extreme-grade weapon? In an instant, he received the news from Spirit Saint King. At the same time, outside the Origin ancient mine, Xia Jiuyo brought the desolate tower with him like a god. He said coldly, "The people inside, I'll give you one last chance. Do you want to fight or do you want to agree to our request? I'll only give you half an incense stick's worth of time to consider." "Damn it! Damn it!" the reincarnation protector roared. Spirit Saint King also said, "Ancestor, they've gone too far. How dare they behave so atrociously in our territory? Do you want to?" Before he could finish his words, he was sent flying with a slap. "Trash, who allowed you to target our Origin ancient mine with such great emperor power? I've just recovered my power and haven't recovered yet. Do you think I have a long lifespan? Stupid thing, you don't have the right to live anymore." "No. Ancestor, please spare me. I was wrong. I won't dare to do it again." Spirit Saint King Yanling was thoroughly terrified. He thought that their ancestor would fight the other party head-on. Who would have thought that their ancestor would actually admit defeat? The reincarnation protector's face was also cold. He said, "Don't worry, Senior. If you attack this time, I'll definitely contact the people of the buried Emperor Star and get them to provide you with all kinds of natural treasures." However, after he finished speaking, he felt a gaze that seemed to be piercing through him. "You're just a little sacred king. What right do you have to be arrogant in front of me? How dare you speak while standing? If it wasn't for the person behind you, you would have died 10,000 times by now," the elder said coldly. Then, he waved his hand and directly sealed the two of them and threw them out. In the next moment, everyone saw two figures fly out and kneel in the air. Then, a voice sounded from the Primordium ancient mine. "I don't want to fight with you. I also hope that you won't use your imperial weapon. Everything that happened before had nothing to do with me. It was all that idiot Spirit Saint King's own actions. Now, I'll kill him and let you all calm down." After saying that, a power shot out and directly enveloped Spirit Saint King. In the end, Spirit Saint King turned into a bloody mist. His soul was destroyed. Even his soul didn't escape. Everyone was horrified. Oh my God! This Primordium ancient mine was too terrifying. One had to know that Spirit Saint King was a sacred king. He could fight several ordinary sacred kings alone. They couldn't beat him. But now, the other party could kill such an existence with a beam of light. It seemed that the other party's strength was definitely at the level of a sacred king. It had even reached an unimaginable level. No wonder this place was called the Land of Death. The voice sounded again. "As for the reincarnation protector, I won't care. You can do whatever you want with him." After saying that, the Primordium ancient mine was sealed. The reincarnation protector's face turned ugly. Damn it, he had been abandoned by someone. In the next moment, when he felt the power of the weapon in the sky, he almost fainted. Although he had the reincarnation pagoda, he couldn't fight against an extreme weapon. So, he quickly said, "Stop, I agree to your conditions." Chapter 44-24. What a joke. If he didn't lower his head, the other party's imperial weapon would be unleashed. He couldn't block it. Probably no one would be able to stop him. Therefore, he could only beg for mercy. "Very well, then you can open the Reincarnation Valley. I'll only give you half a day." After saying that, the Reincarnation Protector quickly left. He wanted to reopen the Reincarnation Valley. At the same time, Xia Jiuyo looked around and said coldly. Since he had already taken out the imperial weapon, he had to let it unleash some of its power. After saying that, he formed a seal with his palm and slammed it forward. Huang Huang unleashed countless extreme Dao might. It flew in all directions. At this moment, countless experts in the world were torn apart. There were even sage kings that died. Everyone was terrified. They thought that it was the end of the world. However, Lin Xian and the others knew that this was killing the mortal realm. Xia Jiuyo was attacking the experts of the mortal realm. Sure enough, those who died were all experts of the mortal realm. However, he only killed sage kings and sage venerables. This was enough. It was definitely a heavy blow to the mortal realm. Sure enough, the remaining people also went into hiding. They probably wouldn't come out of the mortal realm for the next few thousand years. As for Xia Jiuyo, he returned the imperial weapon to the Jade Lake sacred ground. He returned to the divine palace by himself. Everyone was worried and followed him. When they saw Xia Jiuyo in the divine palace, their pupils shrank. It was the same for Lin Xian, whose face had turned extremely ugly. Because the current Xia Jiuyo was hundreds of years older than before. It was as if he had one foot in the grave. Old Xia. Lin Xian's heart ached. He knew that Xia Jiuyo was burning his life force to unleash the imperial weapon in order to help them. He couldn't repay this kindness. Every sage king released their power, wanting to help Xia Jiuyo maintain it. However, Xia Jiuyo said that it was useless. The heavenly Tao reincarnation was gone. Someone could escape. Alright, all of you can leave. Go and make your final preparations. The buried Emperor's star might not be simple. There might be new dangers. I can no longer help you. The sage kings nodded and bowed respectfully to Xia Jiuyo. Senior, we will remember this in our hearts. Then, they quickly left, leaving only Lin Xian behind. Lin Xian took out many spirit medicines and rare treasures and placed them there. Xia Jiuyo said, I know you are worried, but my lifespan is almost up. These things are useless. Now, I have something to pass on to you. That is the supreme technique that I created in my lifetime, the 9 Tribulations Divine Melody. Lin Xian shook his head. No, Elder Xia, you're already very weak. It was better for him to rest quickly. By the way, Elder Xia, I have something for you as well. I hope it will be helpful to you. Since these natural treasures were useless, Lin Xian decided to think of another way. After all, Xia Jiuyo had given him the sacred palace and provided him with great assistance. In fact, he even wanted to impart his lifelong knowledge to him. Lin Xian was unable to return the favor. He said, Senior, I once obtained a treasure by chance called the Eye of Time. I think he might be useful to you. Xia Jiuyo was stunned when he heard this. The Eye of Time. I didn't expect you to be so lucky. Have you heard of it? Xia Jiuyo nodded. Lin Xian gave the Eye of Time to Xia Jiuyo. Xia Jiuyo gave the 9 Tribulations Divine Melody to Lin Xian and said, This 9 Tribulations Divine Melody is the cultivation technique that I created in my lifetime. If I really die, help me pass on this cultivation technique. No one could live forever. Everyone would die. However, he could use another method to live. For example, they could pass on their peerless cultivation technique. Xia Jiuyo's life's supreme technique was the 9 Tribulations Divine Melody. It was very terrifying. A single immortal sound could split the reincarnation protector. One could imagine how terrifying it was. After Lin Xian received it, his expression turned solemn. Senior, don't worry. I will not disgrace your supreme technique. You may encounter new dangers after entering Tibetan Earth Star. I will now help you activate the prelude of the divine melody and help you establish your foundation. Next, you will have to rely on yourself. Xia Jiuyo attacked. Endless sounds of the great Tao appeared around him as if it had turned into a world of immortals. It enveloped Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt a wondrous aura. It was as if the surrounding great Tao had become simple. He could obtain it at any time. This was truly too shocking. It was as if he had entered a very wondrous realm. After an unknown amount of time, the sounds of the great Tao in the surroundings slowly disappeared. As for Xia Jiuyo, he vomited a few more mouthfuls of blood, making him look even older. Lin Xian said, "Old Xia, you can't use your strength anymore." Xia Jiuyo said, "I'm really old. I have already helped you establish the foundation of the divine melody. When you reach Buried Emperor Star, go find someone called Wentian. He can help you." Wentian. Lin Xian was surprised. Who is this person? Xia Jiuyo said, "It's a little fellow I saved back then. I don't know how much he has grown." "Alright, go quickly. The reincarnation valley should have already opened." Lin Xian nodded solemnly. Then, he personally opened the divine crystal and sealed Xia Jiuyo. Then, he left. After leaving, he asked He Shan if there was any way to help Xia Jiuyo. He Shan thought for a moment and said, "His lifespan is reaching its end. It's a normal cycle of death. Under normal circumstances, there was no way to save him. Of course, there were other methods. For example, the undying divine medicine. That thing could allow great emperors to live a second life. Others could naturally do the same. However, it was truly too rare. Only great emperors or extremely terrifying existences could possess it. Others simply couldn't obtain it. Or perhaps you can only find some extremely old medicines to maintain his life. However, that wasn't a solution. What if a remnant soul like you was resurrected? Lin Xian asked. He knew that under normal circumstances, He Shan should have died. However, he had used a peculiar method to come back alive. He Shan said, "It's too difficult. Furthermore, it's a 90% chance of survival. It's purely a coincidence that I was able to come back alive. Furthermore, I can't be considered to have truly come back alive. That's because I'm not completely dead. My remnant soul is still a soul." Indeed, He Shan's situation was different from Xia Jiuyo's. Lin Xian thought for a moment and then said, "If I have the power of time, I can reverse the flow of time. Then, can I help Xia Jiuyo recover?" Lin Xian still had a few eyes of time. Those were all life-saving means. He could be resurrected after death. He Shan nodded and said, "In theory, yes. However, it depends on how strong your power of time is." Generally, the power of time was very mysterious. Those who could master it were even rarer. If you didn't master it well, it would be useless. If you want to resurrect Xia Jiuyo, you have to find an expert with the power of time. Otherwise, it would be useless. It could only prolong his lifespan. There was no fundamental change. There were only a few possibilities for him to have a fundamental change. First, his cultivation base would break through and his lifespan would increase. It seemed that this step was impossible for him. Second, the undying divine medicine could allow him to live a second life. It was also very difficult. Of course, there are two other possibilities. The first is the power of time that you mentioned. Find a strong enough power of time to continue. Chapter 44-25. Lin Xian took a deep breath after hearing that. Each of these things was very difficult, but he decided to find them and help Xiao Zhuyo. Alright, let's go. Perhaps the buried Emperor's star has all these things. Lin Xian took a deep breath and left with the others. When they arrived at the Reincarnation Valley, they found that it had opened again. The Reincarnation Protector stood there and said with a cold expression, "You can go in." He kept forming seals with his palms. The Reincarnation Pagoda in front of him bloomed with light, forming the 6 paths of reincarnation. Countless talismans appeared in the surroundings. It seemed that he was breaking the seal. Soon, he said, "Yes." Peerless Sage King and the others said, "Let's go." Other than Lin Xian and the others, some of the Sage Kings also wanted to go. Logically speaking, the Reincarnation Protector would definitely stop them. However, he did not dare to do so now. If he really angered the Emperor's soldier, even 100 lives would not be enough. Moreover, did these people really think that they could be free after reaching the buried Emperor's star? He sneered in his heart. Only then would these people know what despair was. There were still some sage kings who stayed here. Since most of the mortal world had been destroyed, there should not be much danger in the second astral realm. Therefore, they did not leave with them. As for those who left, they wanted to see what kind of god the buried Emperor's star was. Moreover, they might also want to pursue a higher path of cultivation. Just like that, the group walked into the Reincarnation Pagoda. The universe was upside down and the sun and moon rotated. After an unknown period of time, they finally felt that the situation had stabilized. Next, they walked out. After coming out, they found that they were in a valley. It was similar to the Reincarnation Valley. Could it be that they had already arrived at the buried Emperor's star? These people looked around in all directions. Lin Xian also carefully sensed. In the next moment, he felt the aura here. Indeed, the true spirit world was vaster. There were even many kinds of extremely terrifying pressure. It came from different directions. It gave people an illusory feeling, like an extreme weapon. It should be the place where the Emperor had fallen. Let's go. The group walked over. Suddenly, Peerless Sage King frowned. Wait. Kunlun Sage King also said that something was wrong. There seemed to be the aura of other Sage Kings around. Damn it, could there be someone waiting for us? From the looks of it, it wasn't good news. Everyone, be careful. We're not familiar with this place, so we can't be careless. Lin Xian and the others nodded and carefully flew forward. You're finally here. I've been waiting for you for a long time. At this moment, a cold voice came from the front. Upon hearing this, Lin Xian, Peerless Holy King, and the others stopped what they were doing. They looked ahead and their faces turned cold. Suddenly, a Saint King walked over from the front. The other party's aura was incredibly horrifying. Various great daos interweaved under his feet. He was like the divine king. He stood there with a cold smile on his face. Come with us. Where to? Kunlun Holy King frowned. That Sage King coldly snorted. Now that you've arrived at the buried Emperor's star, you'll naturally have to follow us to the heavenly paradise. What's wrong? Are you guys unwilling? Their faces were cold and gloomy. Lin Xian's eyes flickered with a golden radiance as he looked around. Then, he said coldly, if I follow you to the heavenly paradise, do I need to set up an inescapable trap? There were at least 3 peerless formations around them. The moment he said that, the others' faces changed. 3 formations. What were these people trying to do? Were they trying to defeat them all? The Sage King looked at Lin Xian. Brat, I didn't expect that a mere sacred venerate like you would be able to see through the formations. You've really surprised me. As expected of people who were able to come to the buried Emperor Star. They were indeed people with top-notch talent. If people like you are properly nurtured, you might become good puppets. Hearing the word puppets, everyone exclaimed. A genius from the 7-star pavilion said, "Puppets? Aren't you going to take us in as disciples?" Ha ha ha. At this moment, the Sage King in front sneered. With just you guys. You guys are indeed talented to be able to come here. However, there are so many geniuses in the buried Emperor Star. Does our heavenly paradise lack geniuses? At most, you guys will become our battle servants and puppets. Damn it. Damn it. These people's faces became unsightly. They had gone through untold hardships to come to the buried Emperor Star. They did not expect to be treated like this. One had to know that they were the most dazzling existences in the second astral realm and the true spirit world. However, in this place, they could only become puppets. What a joke. The dark red divine dragon coldly snorted. What if we don't agree? If we don't agree, we'll die. The Sage King roared and waved his hand. Instantly, more than 10 figures appeared around him. They were all Sage Kings. There were even more sacred venerates in the distance. They blotted out the sky and covered the earth. How could there be so many people? The limitless Sage King and the others' faces became unsightly. How could they fight? The peerless Sage King took a deep breath. Do you guys want to be puppets? If you don't want to, we can only fight with our backs against the wall. Everyone, we've already come this far. We won't admit defeat here, right? The other Sage King said. Naturally, they would not. Their eyes also burst out with a piercing cold light. All right, let's fight. The Kunlun Sage King also walked out and looked at He Shan. Fellow Daoist, please break the formation. We'll lead our people to fight against these Sage Kings. As for the other disciples, they would take the opportunity to leave quickly. Soon, everyone came up with a plan. He Shan formed hand seals and began to attack the 3 great formations. His attainments in formations were terrifying. Therefore, no one was worried. The Saint Kings roared angrily and walked forward. As for Lin Xian and the others, they were preparing to break out of the encirclement and escape. A bunch of ants actually want to fight against us. You guys don't know what's good for you. In front, the Sage Kings of the buried Emperor Star sneered. Then, the leader waved his hand. The others also rushed over. A terrifying battle between Sage Kings erupted once again. In an instant, a terrifying aura spread out in all directions. Lin Xian and the others moved quickly. They also quickly flew in all directions. The sacred venerates in the distance charged over. Do you guys want to leave? These were all peak sacred venerates. Their strength was extremely terrifying. In their opinion, they were the people of the buried Emperor Star, and these were people who had just arrived. No matter how terrifying they were in other worlds, when they came to their world, they would be easily suppressed. But soon, they realized that they were wrong. 2 old men came to Lin Xian's side and said coldly, "Stop. Little brat, stop. You seem to know a lot about formations, so I can let you live." However, Lin Xian punched out. That old man shouted angrily, "You're courting death." He also attacked forcefully, wanting to suppress Lin Xian. In an instant, he collided with the man-ruler seal. Then, there was a cracking sound. His body was torn apart. How is this possible? He was stunned. His soul wanted to escape. In the end, he was instantly suppressed by the Taiji diagram and his soul was destroyed. His other companion was also dumbfounded. Didn't this guy come from another backward world? How could he be so powerful? He was able to suppress the experts of the buried Emperor Star. Damn it, he has a treasure on him. The old man roared and took out a sage artifact. It was a sage saber. It bloomed with radiance and slashed down. It caused the world to change. As for Lin Xian, he sneered and struck out with the mountain-embracing seal. It descended from the sky and turned the old man into nothingness. After easily dealing with these two people, Lin Xian and the others continued forward. It was the same in other places. For example, Chao Tianxing, Murong Qingqing, Shen Jingqiu, Linghu Chuexue, and the others all displayed extremely powerful strength. Chapter 44-26. Of course, not everyone was as powerful as Lin Xian, who was able to kill the experts of the buried Emperor Star. In fact, the experts of the buried Emperor Star were very terrifying. Most people could not resist them. They could only join hands. However, there were many people on the buried Emperor Star. Thus, a huge battle broke out. Soon, people died. The battle on the Sacred King's side was the same. Soon, a Sacred King was injured. The 7-star Sacred King was injured and his body was torn apart. On the other side, the Peerless Sacred King was also sent flying while vomiting blood. Master! Linghu Chuexue and the others' eyes turned red. Lin Xian's pupils also shrank. The Peerless Sacred King had been poisoned by the despair poison. Although he was suppressed by the extreme Dao might, he was not in his peak state. Thus, he was injured in the battle. Don't come over. Leave quickly. The Peerless Sacred King and the others roared. They attacked even more crazily. Let's go. Lin Xian and the others roared. They gritted their teeth and attacked quickly. The Peerless Sacred King and the others gave them an opportunity. They could not give up. But this time around, there were simply too many people on the buried Emperor Star. It was a heavenly network. Therefore, in the end, these people were scattered. Lin Xian, Murong Qingqing, Shen Jingqiu, and the others also separated. He was attacked from all directions. He roared towards the sky and a terrifying power swept through everything. However, he was unable to meet up with the others. Big Brother Xian, don't worry. Let's leave this place and meet up later. Murong Qingqing transmitted her voice. Shen Jingqiu also nodded. They all had their own trump cards and secret techniques. Thus, they were not worried. Lin Xian was the same. Since that was the case, they would charge out first. Caw caw caw. Under He Xian's attack, cracks finally appeared on the 3 supreme arrays. Quickly leave. Countless people rushed in all directions. As for the experts of the buried Emperor Star, they coldly snorted. You want to escape in front of us? With just you? They roared and used the heaven-encompassing earth technique to chase after them. Everyone was fleeing, but soon, some of them were caught. Some were directly suppressed, and some were even directly killed. His astral soul was destroyed, and his blood dyed the 9 heavens red. Lin Xian did not leave immediately. Originally, he wanted to leave, but he saw that Peerless Holy King's situation was very bad. Previously, Peerless Sage King had the help of Wuji Sage King and Kunlun Sage King. But in the end, these 2 Saint Kings were also surrounded by the powerhouses and could only fight for themselves. With that, Peerless Saint King's situation became even worse. Su Qin activated the Void Escape and appeared near Peerless Sage King. He used the Great Sage Pagoda to block the attack for him. Then, he quickly left with Peerless Holy King. Junior brother, hurry up and leave. I can still hold on. Peerless Sacred King gritted his teeth as he unleashed the law of devour. Lin Xian shook his head and walked with him. As he spoke, he controlled the dragon-shaped sword Qi and tore through the void. A Saint King led a team and chased after them. In his opinion, Peerless Saint King was severely injured. Lin Xian was not a Saint King. Therefore, one Saint King was enough for him. Moreover, he had brought a powerful team with him. There were 2 half-step kings and 5 peak Saint Venerables among them. It could be said that they were extremely powerful. Those 2 would definitely not be able to escape. He followed them all the way. This guy actually knew the space mystique. The Saint King was shocked. He realized that Lin Xian appeared and disappeared mysteriously. Every time he tore through the void, he would escape. This greatly surprised him. The space mystique was extremely rare. Finally, they came to an uninhabited mountain range. The 2 landed and heaved a sigh of relief. Great, they should be able to escape from them. Peerless Saint King's face was pale. It was obvious that he could no longer suppress the despair poison. He no longer used his strength, but used his extreme Dao danger to suppress it. At the same time, he wondered how the others were doing. How many would be able to escape in the end? Indeed, Lin Xian was also worried. Apart from a few elite powerhouses, those with trump cards like him would be able to escape. The others would probably be suppressed. Probably not many Saint Kings would be able to escape. Still worried about others? You should worry about yourselves first. At this moment, a cold voice rang out. Lin Xian and Peerless Saint King's pupils shrank. Were they discovered? They suddenly raised their heads and saw the Saint King in the sky, who was wearing battle armor, walking in the air and laughing coldly. There were a few figures following behind him, and they also had cold smiles on their faces. They formed a tight encirclement and surrounded Lin Xian and Peerless Saint King. Be obedient and be captured quickly. You can't escape. Damn it, if I didn't have the poison, how could I let him be so arrogant? Peerless Saint King gritted his teeth. Indeed, although this person from the buried Emperor Star was powerful, he was not to be trifled with. It was just that the despair poison in his body prevented him from using his full strength. Was he going to use his trump card? Lin Xian's face darkened, and there was a terrifying aura in his eyes. However, when he used his heavenly secret divine eyes to look around, he frowned. This was because he discovered that there were other people around. Even if he could kill this Saint King, in that case, would he be able to kill the others? How many times could he use the great dragon sword soul? Therefore, he said, I'll go with you. However, let my senior brother go. You want me to let a Saint King go? What a joke. The Saint King in the sky sneered. Also, who do you think you are? How dare you make a request in front of me? I'm a top genius from another world. If I join you, I'll be of great use to you. Moreover, I'm proficient in formations. I'll be of great help to you. If you don't plan to let one of them go, I won't go with you. Once he said that, those people laughed. Kid, aren't you overestimating yourself? So what if you're a genius? Do you think we lack geniuses? When Lin Xian heard that, he was not angry. He looked at one of the half-step Saint Kings and waved his hand. Come over. Do you want to die? That half-step Saint King was instantly enraged. This kid was provoking them. What a joke. His opponent was just a Saint Venerable. However, the Saint King in the armor said, go ahead and fight him. Don't hold back. If he can't block your attack, then he's a piece of trash. It's not a pity even if he dies. Yes. The half-step Saint King nodded. Then he sneered. Kid, you're courting death. Don't blame me. He walked out. The power of his body kept surging. The others all sneered. To them, this was a battle without any suspense. However, Lin Xian disappeared instantly. When he reappeared, he was already in front of his opponent. This scene caused everyone to be shocked. Spatial superpower. His opponent actually knew such a technique. The half-step Saint King was also stunned. Then he sneered. Useless kid. You can't even break through my defense. Go to hell. He slapped out. Indeed, he did not hold back this time. A half-step Saint King could defeat any Saint Venerable. However, Lin Xian's man ruler seal directly slapped his opponent's arm after he came out. With a crack, his opponent's arm turned into a bloody mist. He flew backward. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.